What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday once again. Thank you guys for rocking with us, tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Had a couple things I had to take care of real quick, so I need a little extra time. And then I also had to go out and get my, you know what I mean? Appreciate y'all. Hope everybody's doing great on this Saturday. It's beautiful weather out here. I don't know where everybody's at, but for the most part, I think there's a lot of people here on the East Coast. And we finally beat the heat wave, guys. I don't know if it's going to come back, but right now it's beautiful. 70 degrees, crisp morning. Probably like a 80-degree day, which is perfect weather for me. Like, give me that all year round. I'll take it. I like that whole mix of anywhere between 75 and 80, maybe even go up to 85 on certain days, but 75 to 80 at the peak of the day. And the nighttime, get them low 70s, like mid 60s, so you could throw a little light jacket on. Come on, man. Mix of San Diego and New York. Let's put it together. Instead of working on all this other dumb stuff that they work on, how about you figure out a way to get the best weather possible? But then again, who knows? Maybe one day we're all going to be living in a dome or something. I don't know. Anyway, hope y'all doing all right. Let me shout out, salute to the chat. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. David L's here. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. Kareem Grant, King Poppy NYK, Walter Blackman Jr. in the building. What's good? Geraldine McIver, the first lady, is still Knicks fans in the building. Dripmore's in the building. Let's see who else we got here. Big task at hand. What's good? JJ's here. King Ribby's in the building. Cash Out James, gold all in my mouth. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, Yankees Morning Brew. What's going on, Heck? Good to see you. White Falcon, man. Look at you. Where you been at, brother? Yeah, man. Haven't seen you in a couple episodes here and there, different shows. I haven't seen your name pop up. Maybe I'm tripping. Good to see you. Savage NYC's in the building. OCD Shaggy is here. Judah, Hebrew Lion, is in the building. My alarm is going off, letting me know that I got a show to do, is here. Got that. Okay. D's World of Hoops is in the building. What's going on, D? Appreciate you. Delano Steele Jr., DSJ is in the building, y'all. You know what I mean? Stafford Don is here. Hey, Stafford, where you been, man? It's been a minute, man, that you've been here on the Saturday flow, bro. Victor Vivera is in the building. Oh, Visions is here. What's good, Visions? All right. Salute to y'all. Appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in as always. Let me get a sip of this. Yep, made it just right. I'd be upset if they made it wrong. Then I'm stuck here like this. All right. So let's see. Okay. All right, we're good. Yeah, man. So listen, I don't know what's going on today. I haven't paid attention to the everything's happening right now. Everything's happening. I haven't paid attention to what sports is going on today. I don't know if there's any particular pro-am stuff that I should be looking out for. I don't know if the Brunson League has another game today. I know they played yesterday. I know Sim actually was in the building, was in Baltimore, so he went over there to see it. He said the event itself was pretty good as far as the game, but all the other stuff was kind of wild. 1 second. Okay, and I'm back. Apparently, delivery guy was dropping something off, and he got a little loose with his mouth, so had to see what the hell was going on there. But everything's good, guys. You know, people, man. I don't know if it's the hot weather. Everybody's got a job to do, man. They got to do it, the best of their ability. Sometimes things don't work out. You're having a bad day, but you still got to do your job with a freaking smile on your face, or at least act like you got a smile on your face, and treat your customers with respect, man. Unbelievable. All right, guys. So sorry about that, but this is real life. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna see this on ESPN, huh? You ain't watching this on your regular TV show. This is real. This is reality TV at its finest. Oh man, crazy. Okay. Anyway, let me put this link in the chat. All right. So that's done. Okay, guys. So kind of took me off my square a little bit. I had something I was gonna say. Now I don't know what it was, but okay. Oh no, I got it. So I don't know what sports is on the docket today as far as Pro-Am games. Like I said, the Brunson League, Sim was there yesterday. He said Quickley looked really good. The game was good. The league itself was a little organized how they were handling the event with people and stuff. It was a little crazy. It was a long wait. So I don't know how all these leagues work, guys. So just keep that in mind. If some invitation pops up to one of these leagues around the city or something like that, just keep in mind it may or may not be organized the right way. You're gonna go see these guys, but it's not a professional event the way you would see at a Madison Square Garden or something like that. So it may be a little wild. So just understand that could happen, because he told me it was like an hour wait. And then some security guards. Oh, he didn't tell me. I'm saying he put it on Twitter. He said it was like an hour wait, and he also said that they was trying to charge people. One of the security people was trying to charge a couple fans $20 to get in to a free event. Come on, man. We ain't that hard up, man. This is supposed to be a good thing. It's basketball for people to enjoy. You can't be doing that type of stuff, man. That's fugazi for real. Yeah, man. So shout out to Keith Turner. I see you. Appreciate you. Wacko in Brooklyn. What's good? Yeah, I just didn't want to miss anybody. Pudge Nice in the building. Yep, Baltimore. Facts. Cormega's in the building. What's going on? All right. So let's do this. Let me hit the intro. I'm going to come back. We got our first guest in the building, and we'll get this show cracking, man. I'm excited to talk Knicks, man. It's never a dull moment in life, but, it's never a dull moment with these Knicks. So I guess it all fits. We'll be right back. And we are back. Oh, look at that.
Yo, what's good, bro?
Once was one, now we're two.
Yeah, I saw you gave the 2-piece to the delivery guy real quick.
Yeah, man. I was like, what? First off, I'm doing a show here. This dude wants to be talking. I'm like, you interrupted me, brother. I'm like, what's going on, brother? Oh, hey, Thibodeau.
What's good? What's good? What's good, man?
Rhythm beats, bo.
Yeah, you silly, bro. What up, D? What up, D? Long time,
good,
man.
Bro? Yeah, what's good, Steph? How you, bro?
I'm just blessed, man. Just glad to be off on a Saturday for once.
Oh, wow. Good to hear, bro.
Yeah, that's why. Because you've been okay. I got it. That makes sense, man. I was like, because I haven't seen you recently, and I even with other places, like normally you always popping in, but look like you've been real busy lately, Staffer.
Yeah, man, just trying to work, you know what I mean? Just get things right. That's all. That's all that is. But I've been listening to y'all, man, in the background, you
Without,
know,
without.
Cool.
popping in, yeah.
Appreciate it as always. Shout out to Eddie F in the building. Sherwin, what's good, Sherwin? Hope you're doing all right. Hard Will is in the building. What's good, Hard Will? JJ is here. I think I said JJ, but I feel like the name just popped up again. My bad. If I did, JJ, you know what? You deserve a second shout out. You a Met fan. You like that, Staffer?
You stupid.
So before we go any further, guys, if you haven't already checked it out, just want to give a shout out to my guy D Poetic here. D's World of Hoops in the building. He just put out another video. It's pretty funny, a nice intro. But you know, I like what D's been doing lately with these videos because they're highlighting issues that this Knicks team is dealing with, but it gives you a little humor to kick it off. So it, you know, laugh at your pain. Laugh at
It's the
your pain.
summer, man. I'm trying to make light out of this stuff. And,
yeah, man. No, it's a good listen. It's a good little clip video of RJ Barrett and one of his biggest issues he dealt with last year. That hopefully, you know, I mean, I hope he sees it. I hope somebody gets it to him so he could just. I mean, he probably knows it, I'm sure, but just take another look at it and hopefully he's working on that. It has to do with his layups, folks. And I like the intro, D.
Spoiler
Because,
alert.
you know, not only is it funny, but you know, I'm a big Marvel superhero type guy. I like what you did with it. So, guys, definitely check that out when you have a chance. Go over to D's World of Hoops. Check out the video. It's quick. I don't even mind if you go take a look at it right now. I don't care. It's not a long video, so you got time to come on back.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, man. So thank you guys for once again tuning in and rocking with us. Paris Doug is in the building. I see you. Thank you, brother. All right. So without further ado, if you guys looked at the thumbnail, you know, the topics of discussion for this show primarily are going to be Julius Randle, Cam Reddish, and Immanuel Quickley. So I want to start in kind of a different order. I want to start with Immanuel Quickley, then Cam, and then get into Julius. That's the meat and potatoes of this thing. I think that's going to be a lot to talk about.
What's new?
Well, I tell you, one thing that we've noticed, right? Whether it's indicative of what we can expect in the season or not, is that Immanuel Quickley is really comfortable and balling out in these rec games. Okay, I guess this is more of his type of feel. Like his game is kind of tailored around it. You know, he's a 3-point shooter. He can jack it. You know, he loves to shoot. Ain't a shot he's never loved. So he can jack the shot. He can do his little floater, his little inside layup game. He can just kind of run and do what he likes to do. And it looks like it suits his type of game, right? Which is another thing to pay attention to with the Knicks offense and how Thibodeau runs, because these guys, sometimes you have to have loose sets where these guys can kind of just orchestrate and play a certain way without being, you know, confined to Tibbs' dribble handoffs and stuff like that. So we'll see if Tibbs opens things up a little bit and allows these guys to freestyle a little bit. Not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But certain guys like a Quickley, it looks like he would enjoy it and it benefits him. Yeah, but I wanted to bring it up because, you know, from what I know, I don't know all the games that have been played, but what I do know is the two games that I can point to. Quickley had 45 or 46 in one game, I think 45. And then yesterday's game, I think he had 36. It might have been 32, but the point is it was high 30. It was over 30. And he just looks really comfortable. And his shot looked pretty good. So I don't know I know he's been working on the shot, but I don't know like what's changed, if anything's changed at all, if this is just a hot time. That's the thing with Immanuel Quickley. You don't know what you're getting. He can be very streaky. He can be very hot. So is this just a good hot Quickley, or has he made a couple changes to his form to be a little bit more consistent? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to say it's directly from Immanuel Quickley from last year, but it was said that it was noticed that he was drifting on his shot. So maybe he corrected it. I'm not sure. What do you think about that? Do you think he might have tweaked something to kind of be a little better at and be a little more consistent with the shot making?
I reserve judgment because I know that when the season comes, the level, the intensity, the speed, it's just at a different level. It's a different animal. Where these pro league, pro-am type of circuits can be very relaxing for players to go ahead and work on things, have fun, stuff like that. So I would have to see within preseason or early season if that's something that he's really adjusted, because these guys can make thousands or millions of dollars of looking fantastic in the summer. Doesn't mean it'll translate in the season.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think, Staffa?
I gotta agree with D too. It's a whole different animal from a pro am game to a regular NBA game. So yeah, it's totally a different situation. But I mean, he's been looking good. You know, I don't know about the tweak shot, but it looks like he's making more better decisions and better passing from the little highlights that I've been seeing. But he's been looking good though. He's been looking good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Look, I'm gonna give Quickley credit and say that I do think he's turned a little bit of a corner in regards to how he's approached the point guard position. I think he is getting better. I was really I'll be the first to admit I was one of those people that I was like, I don't know about this dude. I don't know if he can be a PG, but he showed me throughout the second half of the season that he was getting a little better at it, more comfortable. He was definitely doing a lot to affect the game. Like he was scoring. He was averaging around 15, 16 points. He was getting his 5 or 6 rebounds depending on the night. And then he was also giving you 4 assists. And this was when, like, I'm just saying, this is when he was kind of like getting back into the swing of things. And then by the end of the season, the last 15 games, his assist ratio went up. He started getting better at it. Then that last week and a half or so, you saw him get like 2 or 3 triple doubles. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's starting to turn the corner a little bit, understanding how the game can slow down for him at the point guard and how he can look for other people and see what's going on better. Maybe it's a difference of how he views the court, but I think he's starting to get it a little better. So I'm not going to, and shout out to those who really believe in Immanuel Quickley from day one that he can do that type of role. I'm still a little skeptical because it's a new season. I always got to look at, I like what you did last year, but now I want to see, can you bring it into this season? So if he can still do, and he still looks like he's the same type of guy, and even better, hey, I'm all for it, man.
Well, everything takes steps, Ron. It's like
right.
you
I
just
agree.
are jumping into high school and you got the freshman, then you jump up to sophomore, then you get a little familiar, and then you become a junior. You understand what I mean? And then after in the 4th year, you got to prove yourself, like, I'm the senior and I'm the big man on campus. So I think it's all steps, because when you talk about last year, Quickley talk about being in the film room, watching his mistakes and trying to correct them and trying to know when to attack and when not to attack, when to facilitate and, just do his thing. So, he's growing up in front of our eyes, yo. We don't expect him to be a different player all the way, but definitely we're going to see changes in his game that he's going to bring to the season. As D said, we're not going to pass judgment as yet until we see the preseason and we get into the season to see what he's really look like, but it's improvements, increments. So, I think he's improving a lot.
Yeah. And shout out to Parrish Duggar. Yeah, I know you keeping receipts. I know who you are. But hey, that's why I come out and say what I'm saying now. I don't want to, you to be pointing it out to me later. I'm letting you know that I already see a difference in Quickley. I'm gonna give him a shot to show me that that's real. But what I will say is, one of the things that I didn't like about Quickley, and it's no knock, he could still be a very good point guard in the league in his own way, is he's not like the I don't want to say flashy type point guard, but he's not that stylish type layup guy, who's going to get you a bucket in the lane, maybe score from outside, get that mid range. He's not all of those combined at a high level yet. And I also never liked the fact that he shoots a lot of overhand layups instead of underhand. I don't know. It's my thing. It's not a judgment on him, but it's just, I think that when you're able to have different facets of your game and your nice layup package, it says a lot about what you can do as a point guard. That dribble, drive, and dish is big for me. And that's why I love Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. I think with Quickley, what's encouraging is that there was development. You literally saw him develop in the point guard position as the season progressed.
One of the few guys, not I mean to cut you up, one of the few guys that we actually can see development from in Quickley because he got time to play and learn through stuff.
Yeah. One of his issues, which I hope he does fix, is that he does over dribble the shot clock.
Yeah,
he really does. It takes him way too long to get into the sets and to make decisions off the sets.
Right.
He didn't finish as well on the floater last year that he did the year before.
True.
So that's something to consider. But he's a pit bull, man. He has a pit bull mentality. I like that he's a gym rat. I like that he doesn't mind getting his hands dirty. This is a big year for him. And this is and especially in the limited minutes, it's not like an RJ thing where he's looking at 35 minutes this year. He'll be cracking, and depending what happens with Derrick Rose, 15, 20, if that. So it's a big year for IQ, and he has to come in a different animal than he was last year, I think, in order to, separate himself from that, 7th, 8th, 9th guy. So I think he's got the chops to do it, bro.
Yeah. And I want to give him credit for one more thing, because the thing with basketball and everything that happens, everything moves quick. From week to week, something's happening, something's changing, and then a couple weeks turns into a month, and then you already forgot what happened last month, or you're not paying attention to it the same way. I got to give Quickley a lot of credit for struggling and making the adjustment, because one of the big things that I was thinking about that affected him, it affected certain guys in the league, him, Trae Young, the type of guys that I'm talking about and their type of game. When the NBA changed that rule about drawing fouls, like Quickley predicated a lot of his game on getting those easy fouls and then just throwing the ball up and getting to the line. And you know what? The NBA took that away, and last year was the adjustment year. And Trae struggled early, but Quickley struggled. But with Trae, he's such a bona fide star type scorer. You knew he would make an adjustment. It just takes time. But for Quickley, who we didn't know exactly, he's still a young player. Can he make the adjustment? How does he, play off the ball without having to draw the contact and throw off the ball and get a, easy free throw? He had to make an adjustment. He struggled out the gate. It took him almost the whole first half of the season to get right. But in the second half, averaging around 15, 16 points, I would say, I'm starting to look at Quickley like maybe he's better than I think. I mean, seriously better than I think, not just the point guard stuff. Maybe this dude could be a bucket. He just needs to be a little bit more consistent in his approach to his shots, because I just think that this dude is such a good shooter. He should be.
Delivery man again.
Guys, I forgot.
He came back with his boys.
We just instituted to the show. That's the time limit. Okay, changing the subject.
Nice.
Let me get Sam in here. What's up, Sam?
What's good, Sam?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing? Peace and blessings.
Yeah, man. Wow. I got gonged, yo. If anybody's old enough to remember the Gong Show back in the day, nah, I know y'all too young.
Yeah,
what's up, like Sam? Long time I hear from you, young boy. What's going on?
Don, how you doing?
Man, I ain't hear from you in a minute. What's good?
Listen, man, I've been like I've been telling them when I get on, I pretty much moved 15 hours away. So I'm up with Giannis in Milwaukee now. So I'm trying to get my life right. We start classes next week, so I'm about to be a pretty busy man. Try to get on here while I can.
Okay. Well, get them grades up, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, I don't have a choice, man. I got that military mom, so she doesn't really she didn't give me any choice but to do something.
Great, man. Listen, that's more. That's the way more people should be. Maybe it changed our world, bro. It's crazy out here.
For real, bro.
I gotta salute to his parents. That's how it should be.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm one of those parents. You know, I'm getting off subject, but me and my wife, we're parents like that. And let me tell you, parents need to step up their game, man. They getting a little loose out here in these streets.
No, for real. That's a true statement.
No, real talk. That's real talk.
Shout out to the new Knicks, the organic Nick podcast coming soon. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Anyway, salute to you, appreciate you. Rich Boy in the building. Jermaine Royster is here. Chuck Allen, Knicks for Life is in the building. What's good? Ray Ology is in the building.
Let's go.
Evergreen G. I know you didn't forget, brother. You busy. Don't worry about it. I got you. Salute to y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in as always. My
about quickly.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
6'3", 6'9" to 6'10" wingspan. People forget that. And Sherwin brought it up, and I'll give credit where credit's due. He much improved his on-ball defense last year, without a doubt. A drastic difference from year 1 to year 2. He was even able to pick up the ball 94 feet consistently as well. Has to work still on his off-ball schemes defensively, with knowing the help of recover and stuff like that. But his on-ball was definitely a big improvement. So shout out to Sherwin to bring that out. But I think, look, and the thing with Quickley, I think that's on the side too, is that Tibbs has always liked him. Tibbs has always liked him from day one. So I think there's room for him, but his play is going to dictate in his limited minutes how much that could expand or how much that could decrease as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Quickley has that, like, you mentioned multiple times and others have said, he's got that bulldog mentality and work ethic, man. Listen, every time we criticize our Knick players, if the criticism is warranted, okay, it is what it is, but it should all come from a place of understanding that these guys, hopefully, for the most part, we know who they are, but hopefully the whole team is like that, but they work hard. Guys like Quickley, RJ, say what you will about Julius, he works hard. Obi needs to continue to work, but he works hard. Like, he may have to really specifically get into certain things that he has to continue to work on and grow at, but he's working. No matter what you think about Obi works hard. So, like, these guys are putting in that effort. We saw what Grimes was doing, in the summer league and his workout and stuff, the stuff that was showing. And even look, I've watched Mitchell Robinson every summer. I'm kind of sick of it. I told you guys before, it doesn't impress me. I don't need to see Mitchell Robinson shooting, 20, 30-foot threes, whatever the hell it is he's doing. I don't care about that because I never see it in the game. But what I do like to see is when he's at the free throw line, working on free throws. If I see him in the paint, working on a little hook shot or something. If I see him now, running in the sand, doing different agility things. If I see him, this is a good thing to see, especially knowing that the guy just got paid money. I like that. So I'm hoping for some bigger and better things from this Knick team. I'm looking at it a little bit like I'm not jumping out the window, but I'm kind of I'm in the middle. So you remember when the Knicks they made the 4th seed 2 years ago? No one expected that to happen. They went on a nice run. It just surprised all of us. And they stood with it. Like, they had one of the best second halves in the NBA, and the last month of the season was the best in the NBA. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying I think they're going to be a lot better than people expect. That's it. That's all I'm saying. They ain't no crispy burger, nothing like that. I'm just thinking they're going to be better than people think. But that's still tough because we know the East is the new West. So it ain't going to be easy. What do you guys think about? Oh, go ahead. What were you saying?
How many wins you thinking?
Yeah. What do you guys think about?
No, I'm saying, how many wins are you thinking?
Oh, I thought you said. I said. I didn't. You can tell I didn't hear what you said.
Come on, it's all good. That delivery man, he got to you this morning.
Yeah, the delivery man got me tripping right now.
I'm going with 41. 41. Yeah, I'm going with 41. I'm going over season.
I'm going 43.
I'm going to be a little optimistic. I'm still going to stand packed. I think the record's getting flipped this year. I'm going to stand packed with that. So what was it, 45? I think we were 37 and 45, so something like that.
Yeah, something like
flip
that.
It.
Flip it.
So optimistic, yo.
Yeah, I gotta, you know, I gotta have some good luck. This is the only team that I root for that has just been struggling. I need them to change the course.
Whoa. Well, Rayology said 41 and 41. Okay, Walter
should have got 50.
That's actually
he almost hit the 50 burger.
50 burger, right?
Salute to you, brother. I don't know about that, but hey, it'd be not. Now, I don't think it could happen. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I think you have to be an elite team to get to be 49 and 50 in this current Eastern Conference. Had this been, if you took this Knick roster, this Knick team right now, and throw them into the mix 3 years ago, I could see them getting close to 49 wins. But the East is so much better now. Like, there's going to be games where the quality of basketball should be very entertaining, and you just don't know who's going to win in the end. That's what's going to happen. The East is just much better, man. These young teams, they're going to give these other guys run for their money. The Orlandos, the Detroits. It's going to be tough.
Beware of Paolo Banchero.
Yeah,
he is going to revolutionize that 4 position.
Well, indeed, think about it. We couldn't beat the Magic last year anyway to save our lives, so it's already was talk.
I mean, we won one. Sam, we won one game. The 3 games they killed
crazy.
Us. We won one game.
You know why, Staffa? Because we couldn't beat a 2-3 zone. Crazy, right?
I know, but showing, I don't understand. We won 37, and then you're gonna give us 2 wins less, 35
with the point guard.
I don't know about that, Sherwin. I know Sherwin loves. Now I know Sherwin loves defense. I don't think we are going to be that much worse than we were this past season. And
no, but we were 11th in defense,
right? And the other thing, Sherwin, is look. I know I keep harping on these 6 wins that you could have had with the 20-point lead stuff, but to me, it's not all about. I use the 6 wins as my barometer to say we can win 6 more basketball games this year, but it's not about that. Think about the mentality. If they change the mentality with a true point guard in Brunson who can make better decisions down the stretch of games, the outcomes are going to be overall
much better.
Yeah, so I just think we should be in a better situation.
Let's see.
I'm same wins as last year. Maybe 1 less, maybe 1 more.
Oof. Now you hold on. Let's quantify that or qualify it, however you want to say it. Are you thinking that because you don't think the Knicks team will have any improvement in it, or you think that the Eastern Conference is just so good that even if the Knicks are improving, they still are going up against other improving teams?
I said it because Sherwin said it in the chat. I'll play. No, but in all seriousness, the East is a lot better, like dramatically better.
Yeah. And
I just feel like, especially with the West always being the West, it's going to be a grind. It's going to be really tough throughout the season. Even the young teams, man. Indiana has a team, bro. I know they're going to be in the lottery, but they still have a team put together that can compete. Orlando has a team that can compete. Detroit has a team that can compete. So I look at the Knicks team and I say, there's certain important pieces missing for it to go over the hump and contend in the East like that, especially in the 6 spots, and also especially to crack the second round. Right. I don't think they have that. Best case scenario, Ron, your scenario is perfect, that 43 wins. I think that's best case scenario.
So D, let me ask you this, right? Because we all saying the East is lower and the East got better.
Yeah.
I don't see, but which team in the top 6 has gotten better? Because I think I see the same players.
I think all of them.
Okay, so let's do it.
Oh, you want to go by? How you want to do it? Go down? We can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go team
yeah. That sounds good. Why not?
Yeah, and because Boston hasn't changed anything. Milwaukee hasn't changed anything. Miami hasn't changed anything.
Okay, so let's go down. So let's say Boston, right? You asked if they got better, but with them, it's a case of you don't think they're going to be in the top 4 of the East.
Yeah, of course,
of
course.
So that's that.
Yeah, we just
actually. Boston is probably an example of a team that is going to be top 4 in the East. So let me just say that, and I'll let D go. Mm-hmm. The teams, the elite teams in the East, they even if they didn't get better, they're just so much better than the rest of the competition. You know that it's just a different level, right? But Boston did get better because they have another point guard there that we don't know if he's going to play. But if Brogdon's healthy, Boston is better.
Well, Ron just took what I was going to say. Stafford, how did they get better? They got Malcolm Brogdon and you got the new guy.
Yeah,
but hold on. And they picked up that kid in the draft, J.D. Davison. Yeah. That does have some upside.
Okay. I forgot they picked up Gallinari. But Brogdon, I wouldn't count, man, because he is so injury prone. I don't know if he even might give them 20 games this year.
But think about it.
Stafford, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say this real quick. You are definitely 100% right. Brogdon is not somebody you can count on. But listen, luck will have it a certain way. Right, what if Brogdon only gives them 20 or 30 games? And those 20 or 30 games is at the end of the season in the playoffs.
Here's another thing about the Brogdon situation, too. You don't have to overload him on minutes either. You could take your time winning him, not play back-to-backs, minutes restriction. You could do that whole thing with him there because you got the talent pool to do it.
That's true.
Yeah, with Boston, they got depth. And if you look at it, like, you still got Pritchard, who was already playing some point for you. No, he's not a point guard, but he was playing point. And then you have Smart. So Brogdon's not going to be overloaded with minutes. I think it's a solid balance for him. And then you add Gallinari off the bench. He's a knockdown shooter. They needed that. So,
and also, too, Tatum and Brown take up most of their ball usage. So it's not required of him to really overload and do too much. So
yeah, he's in a situation where they can bring him along slowly. If he was on the Knicks, we need him out there every day.
Brunson treatment.
So how about Miami? Are they top four?
Well, they lost. Yeah, I'll say they still top four, but they lost PJ Tucker. They added was it Jovic from the draft?
Oh,
I believe.
Yeah.
But I still think they got the same team. I don't see no big difference in that team, but they will still be a top four in my opinion.
Right. And then you have Milwaukee. I think they're going to be top four.
Right. Philly.
I don't know about
picked up PJ Tucker.
They did, and they picked up the Anthony.
Oh, that's actually big. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's big. That's a good point.
So let's put them top four for just now, right? How about Chicago?
All right.
I think Chicago stays in the top six.
Me too.
I don't see Chicago dropping out. They almost won 50 games last year.
And also, too, they have young talent that's developing and going to the next year. How about Toronto?
Toronto stays in the top six as well. I think, like, even them, they had the injury bug last year. And I think a healthy Toronto team, especially with what they've added, they always draft well. So I expect them to have a couple of young guys come on for them. I think they'll stay in the top six.
Who have they added?
Huh?
Who has Toronto added?
No, I'm just saying they drafted well. They haven't signed any free agents.
Okay.
But they did draft Christian Coloco from Arizona, and he's most likely going to start for them.
Yeah, he's a center, right?
Yeah, that's the center.
Yeah. Okay.
And you got Scotty Barnes going to his second year.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And then how about the Brooklyn stance, Pat? Sherwin brought up Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to be better as well. I agree with him on that.
Yeah, if you look at like the seeds that were 8 through 10 last year, like the Hawks are better. They're not going to be there. They're going to probably be higher. I see them jumping in Chicago for 6. You got Cleveland, who we know has gotten better. Even the Hornets, who are the play-in team, like we're talking like at most 43 wins. That was the 10th seed last year. So we have to keep that in mind when we say, we want the Knicks to win this. Like that's still 10th seed playing, like barely. Because, they were only up on us, I think, 6 games to make that spot. So,
yeah, good point.
Although I don't mean to downplay them, but if there's any team that I think is fugazi out of all the teams mentioned so far, it's Charlotte.
Yeah,
Charlotte's fine.
Yeah, just because of that young boy situation, we don't know what's going to happen with them.
Yeah, they're predicated on what happens there. Absolutely.
All right, and then there's a new coach. He's not really a new coach, but I guess Jordan brought him back again since they fired Bolenga, whatever his name is.
Talking about Clifford?
Yeah, Steve Clifford.
Yeah, Clifford. Yeah,
Clifford can coach, bro.
Yeah, but Clifford could coach, and he's a defensive-minded coach. So that's it's interesting. He could turn them around a little bit.
That comes from the Nick tree too, Pat Riley tree.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's very true.
So who we got at 8?
Oh, how about Brooklyn if they stand pat?
Oh shoot! See that?
Brooklyn was number 7.
They were mentioned there.
Yeah, they were 7 last year.
Well, last year they were. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, if they stand pat and they are healthy, which is obviously a big thing for them, but it's other things too as far as Kyrie Irving. But as far as them actually being consistent on the court, and Ben Simmons, I think, is an X factor for them. The issue that they still have is actually worse than last year. They have no depth still. I don't think they really addressed that well. So I mean, yeah, you got guys like Joe Harris coming back off injury, but they still have no depth on that team overall.
Absolutely agree. I mean, they did get a draft pick.
Yeah.
And Daron Sharp did have a very nice summer league for them. So we'll see.
And the other thing with Brooklyn, just to throw this out there real quick, is that Brooklyn is the type of team that all they got to do is hang around. Because in the fourth quarter, late in the game, when you got Kyrie and you got Durant, they can win a lot of games for them in the fourth quarter, just as long as they can stay in the game. And now, if they're getting blown out, it might be curtains for that team.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you know what? I think Brooklyn might make a jump. If, as D said, if everything stays packed, and Kyrie could play in Barclays now, and he could travel and do all these things, I think they could jump probably even to the number 6 seed. Grant Sam.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, because once you still got Kyrie and KD, and then you got Seth, and then you got the other what's his name, the sharpshooter from
Joe Harris. That's what I was
Spurs.
saying.
From the Spurs. What's his name again?
Patty Mills.
Patty Mills. Right. And then you still got the other rookie, not rookie. Cam, what's his name? Cam
Johnson, is it?
Cam Johnson.
Cam Thomas.
Yeah, Cam Thomas.
That's it.
Right. I still think they could at least jump to the 6th, or probably possibly the 5th. We never know.
I'm just worried about
with KD still there. I still think it's a possibility.
Stafford, the thing I worry about with Brooklyn is, yes, they can score, but their defense is going to be putrid if Ben Simmons doesn't play. If you think about it, you've got Nick Claxton, who he's a solid defender, but he's known for getting dunked on. And then, no, I'm saying if Ben Simmons doesn't play, who do they have on defense who's really going to lock down?
Didn't they? Sorry, D, I didn't want to cut you, but I just didn't they lose Brown?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought they
lost
Brown.
He's with the Nuggets, I believe.
That's what I'm saying. Their depth is kind of really shook. If you look at the bench as far as defenders, they don't really have any.
But you know what, Sam? I forgot about Ben. I always forget about Ben Simmons. And if
Me
he's
too.
anywhere 3/4 healthy, that's a huge impact for that team, bro. So that's what and Rayology took it right out. I was waiting for you guys to finish. I was going to say the Washington Wizards have gotten better as well. And if they could stay healthy, I think they could compete in the East as well. I mean, I'm talking about top 10, top 9. I'm not talking about playoff second round stuff. But,
yeah, when you kind of look at the totality of the Eastern Conference and what is actually out there, it's not going to be easy for these Knicks. And we know the Knicks are not going to be in that top 6 category unless something changes and they wind up with a Donovan Mitchell. You never know. That could happen, but I don't think I don't know where I feel about it right now. But
showing you think you pushing it a little bit, bro. Number 1.
They're not beating Milwaukee.
That's not.
No, man. You're pushing it a little bit, bro.
That would be predicated on their 3 superstars playing well throughout the whole season and them finding a defensive anchor on the bench, which I still don't see.
Correct.
Both phases are weak.
And health.
Yeah, I don't. Sherwin, I just don't think they have enough defense to make that type of jump. Like these top 4, top 5 teams, maybe 4, top 4 teams are no joke. And they are still intact, and they still have their offense, defensive principles. They're not going nowhere. And Brooklyn, even if Ben Simmons comes in, he's healthy, and he balls out. That's not enough to make up for the overall team defense that they're going to struggle with. Durant can only do so much. He's at advanced age. He's 33, going to be 34, whatever it is. Yeah. Kyrie don't play no defense. I don't see it. But they could definitely be in the mix, and they could be better than the Knicks. So, that rhymes. See, I'll put it up. Yo, it's a cherry bomb. I'm covered in bulletproof vest. All right, my fault. Sorry, guys. Kill me. Anyway, all right, guys. Yeah. So when you look at it like that, and thank you, D, for kind of running down the list of teams in the East, you can see that as much as we love our Knicks and know that they can be better this year than they were last year,
it's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be a rough one, man. There's a lot going on. I'm telling you, y'all I don't just be saying this, and people's not. The East is the new West. I'm not joking. Serious.
It's the whole NBA now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, if you look at these teams, like that's why I said I think Brooklyn will, in the long term, they could be in trouble because every other team, in my opinion, in the East that is at least in the top 6, like they still have depth on those rosters. I don't really see Brooklyn with that much depth outside of those 3 guys, really 2, because Ben Simmons hasn't played in 2 years. So like you have to even see that he's even going to play this year. If he's not playing again on whatever type of time he's on, then that's going to be a rough year for them.
Boy, they paying him all that money. He better step on the court.
He definitely better. I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't like that. I honestly, even though we're talking about Brooklyn and how they can be, if they stand pat, they could be a tough team. They got a lot of issues over there. That chemistry between the 2 diva superstars now, it looks like it's a little shaken. Even though they're cool, I don't know. There's some funky stuff going on there that I don't like. And then the way the Ben Simmons dynamic, dude, I'm not saying this is a big deal. I don't know what happened prior. Who knows anything? But I saw something the other day, and it just looks funky. Like I think they were at a club. Ben Simmons is standing there. Kevin Durant's coming in. He just walks right by Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons turns his face. Like, what are they doing? I don't know what they got going on over there.
I think he needs to lock himself away in the gym until the regular season starts. Just don't go out, because every time he steps outside, it's like they find something on him. I think he should just not go outside anymore.
Maybe. Listen, you know what? Honestly, not for nothing, but all joking aside, Ben Simmons really needs to refocus his energy towards being the best basketball player he can be, because Ben Simmons, even the dude can't shoot. We were still looking at him like how big of an impact, how he changes the game. We're looking at there was a point where we're saying on the defensive end, he could be the best defensive player in the league. So he kind of needs to get back and focus really strongly on getting back to at least that side of the game, and then maybe improving on his other situations. But I think with the back issues, it's gonna be tough. I don't know how much Ben's gonna have in him to really take it to the next level at this point. But he's still young, so you never know. You never say never. But does he even have the right development people around him? Because in essence, Ben still needs development. As great of a defender as he is on the offensive side, he needs a lot of development. Does he have the right pieces in place to help that? And the dysfunction that Sean Marks and Steve Nash, they got a coach that they freaking elected. They said, listen,
not elected.
Who's the guy we like? Nash. I like Nash. Bring him in. What are we doing here?
I mean, and the Nets are such a wild card because we don't know what they're going to do with their management. Yeah. We don't know what they're going to do with Durant. Kyrie just came out that he came up with an absurd request about him sitting out so many games and him being catered in so many different ways. It's ridiculous. I don't think any organization can hold that. There's going to be some shakeup.
And then I'm hearing Durant not even what's the word I'm looking for? Him and the coach is not really getting along. He's not really feeling Steve Nash. I think I heard something like that. So Brooklyn is in a mess, man.
But this points to the thing I always say about these guys, man. I don't like Kyrie for my own reasons, and I think people have their own reasons. I don't like Durant for how he acts off the court, and sometimes his diva mentality on the court. But I don't take nothing away from these guys are superior talents. But not everybody can be LeBron James, okay? Not everybody can be Michael Jordan. Not everybody can be Kobe Bryant. And when I say that, I'm not talking about their level of game, like how good they are on the court. I'm talking about the mentality that they have as far as making or trying to make guys on the team better, and then also picking and helping choose how the roster might fill out or the type of coach that's going to get the best out of everybody on the team. LeBron's done that for many years, and he can say, okay, well, if I got these guys on my team, Tyronn Lue can be the coach, and we can still win. And we saw it, right? But, of course, now he's at an advanced age, so his ability can't make up for the lapses on the team and other things, so it's not working. LeBron can't just pick and choose. I could put anybody together. We're going to win. It's not working now. And in the flip side, excuse me, Kyrie and Durant, they're just not those dudes. They thought, hey, we can put it together too. Get these guys, it's me and you playing together in Brooklyn. Bring in Steve Nash. We like Nash, we like that offensive system. We'll ball out. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. But enough about Brooklyn. Let their troubles be their troubles, and may they be plentiful to all of you. Shout out to the chat. Salute to Dripmore, the still Knicks fans barber of choice.
Shaw Powers,
Billy Goat, Jay Money in the building, Wayne Peterson, Almighty Finesse, Knicks 100, Pierre Morse, New York is in the building. Brahim is here. May 4th is here. And Jean Chiril is in the building. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in as always and showing the love. G Robinson is here as well. What's good, G? So let's get into the second topic of the day, because I don't know, man. It's starting to pull at my heartstrings. I'm hoping for the best for this dude, Cam Reddish, man. I'm hoping Cam is real, man. They try to get me all like like, hey man, Cam can still be that guy. They showed his little pickup game flow. No defense, of course. Nobody's playing on him, but dude, he was hitting his shots. He was getting to the rim, doing his thing. But this is what Cam can do, guys. This is what I'm saying. Like, Cam can do this anytime he wants. What's stopping Cam? That's what I want to know. What you guys think is stopping Cam from Cam being one of the better players on this Knicks team?
Opportunity. Opportunity in my eyes, because since he came in, right, he had injuries. Then he had DeAndre Hunter in front of him. He had Herder in front of him. And then I think is he has a lack of motivation, in my opinion, because for him to be at least 3 years in the league right now.
He's four. He's same year as RJ now.
Right, going into his fourth year. He should have been able to establish himself as a decent role player, or however you want to put him as. But I think his opportunity and injuries and lack of motivation. And that's in my opinion what I see.
What do you think, Sam?
Honestly, with me, I think it's more so availability for him, because I think in moments like we've seen, he has some flashes, but this past season, at least, like the times of which he could have gotten burned, he was sidelined due to injury, so we couldn't see it. So like, if he's available, I think he'll eventually get in. I think Tibbs will throw him out there. Like I can't see it happening honestly right now, because remember I brought it up a couple of shows ago. Like, we just have so many log jams on this team, and I just don't see, unless a trade goes down, I don't see a way for him to once again show consistent like performance. Like, it's hard for a guy to give you, high efficiency in 8 minutes a night. Like, it's kind of hard to do that. So I mean, I think availability is the biggest thing with him.
Can I just say one more thing? And this is with all players. Don't wait until a contract year for you to start balling out. Ball out from since you start coming in the league. Try and establish yourself, because there's the stigma as soon as you get your bag, that you don't want to play no more, you suck, or whatever it may be the case.
Right.
So I don't want that for Cam. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and do your thing. And I agree with Sam. Availability, because due to his injuries, but it is what it is. Go ahead, D.
I was going to say, well, ask the question again, Ruff. So,
what do you think is holding Cam back from being one of the best players on this Knicks team?
On this Knicks team, I think Cam and health. Himself and health. Because even when you get those limited minutes like that, and for whatever reason it is, that it could be a laundry list of them, you still have to seize the moment.
True.
And Cam hasn't consistently done that.
That's true.
It's my knock with OB too. Like, he needs more minutes. Of course, Cam needs more minutes and stuff like that. But at the same time, you still have to seize your opportunity. And OB had a little trouble doing that as well.
Yeah. And and let me say this too, because I know I'm talking about it in a certain way, because I just don't like the way that that it's been handled and the way they do things over there in Brooklyn right now, like what the plan was or whatever, if there was a plan, I don't think Steve Nash is a bum. Okay. And I think I don't even remember what show it was. Maybe it was For the Love of the Game. I think we were talking about certain players like I think it was For the Love of the Game. We were talking about they had a point guard show, and he was one of my top 5 in the point guard realm. I think, you know, some people don't give him as much credit as he should get, but you know, the 2 MVPs, I mean, Duke could ball out, right? And he's a very smart basketball player. But just because you have all that, 1, doesn't mean you're a great coach, and 2, doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach right away. Look at the situation. I like always pointing to Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd first started coaching. I mean, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. It's one thing to see how the game should be played, but not everybody can carry it out the way you want it to happen. It's not that easy. They don't see it the way you see it. They don't make the right decisions the way you want them to. So he had to learn and understand what needs to be done. And he wasn't always as successful as he did a lot of funky things on the court, the stupid things, spilling ice on them and try to get timeouts and extra time. He did some wild stuff. But I think now with Dallas, I think now he gets it because he's had so much more time to study it. Great players aren't great overnight. They're great after time, practice, and learning and getting better at their craft. And same goes with coaching to me. I think Steve Nash will be a good coach. It takes time, and you just don't throw him in a situation with 2 star players like a Durant and a Kyrie Irving and think everything's going to be, you know, a miracle. It's going to miraculously work out the gate. These are 2 star type, diva type guys, and you're a new coach having to coach them. And as much as that's another thing that points to something, and I think D had a show about it. I don't know if it was the main topic, but it became one of the topics. It was about Jerry West and JJ Redick, but it was the point of the respect that this new generation gives to the old generation. And I'm not saying Kyrie and Durant don't respect Steve Nash. However, you see there's not a lot of respect for Steve Nash right now. So as much as it doesn't matter how good he was as a player, he's a coach now. So he's looked at differently. Just like Phil Jackson. Incredible coach. You put him in the front office. Now he's looked at differently. So that's all I'm saying. I think he'll be fine. I just think it was a poor choice. You don't if you're running a good organization, you pick the staff that you want out there and you run it the way you want it. Don't let your players dictate who's going to be their coach and all this stuff, because when it all falls apart, they're not looking at the players. They're looking at you, the front office. Why did you do this? Why is this? Why don't you have these chemistry issues? Why did you? It's all crazy. So just a thought. I was just throwing that out there.
You know what the thing about Nash too is that I think, like, and especially when you're coaching, and especially you're coaching that type of talent pool, there's a certain assertiveness, and it doesn't have to be like yelling, screaming. It doesn't have to. But just like a certain like no nonsense line, and Nash doesn't come off as a guy like that to me. I didn't like the fit from day one.
And last thing I was going to say about this, Luke Walton. He looks like a terrible coach, right? You give him the head coaching job in Sacramento. They are putrid. That you don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't look like they're running the proper sets. They seem lost. He's not making the proper adjustments. But this is the same Luke Walton that took over Golden State when Kerr was out with his health issues, and they didn't miss a beat. They were running through everybody. System, everything was already in place for him, and he just had to orchestrate, carry out the way Steve Kerr likes to run the ship. And those guys were so smart and know what to do. High IQ guys know where to be. It ran itself. And then when you move them out of that situation, you see that's what happens. That's kind of the whole thing when people talk about, well, should we consider getting a guy like Wiggins? I would love a guy like Wiggins on the Knicks, but Wiggins is in a great system right now where he just has to fall back, do what he's doing. You take him out of there and make him a more of a focal point where the pressure's on him and the system's not run the same. I don't know. Just saying. All right. Well, so, excuse me. The other question I wanted to ask you guys is, All right, so you already weighed in on what you think is holding Cam back. Say this season. Hold on 1 second. I had to get that out, man. That's annoying, man. Sometimes you need that real, like,
Zoom tight, bro.
So, say this season, Cam gets the minutes. Say Cam gets the minutes.
So what's that look like? 20?
20?
Okay.
I would say 20. You know what I mean? Do you guys think that I don't want to say he takes the Knicks, takes them over the top or something like that. I mean, does he getting the 20 minutes, just that alone, change how you look at this Knicks team? Do they become a much better, team that can really make a run at a 6th or a 7th seed in the East if you're getting 20 minutes from Cam? Now, healthy Cam, I mean, Cam who's out there playing every day. Do y'all think that he is that good of a player that he really changes the dynamic of what we see out there? Also, you can include Brunson being here as well. But what do you think?
So it's 48 minutes in the game, right?
Right.
And you say you giving Cam 20 minutes,
right? And just so you know,
so that means.
Just to help you, Staff, no, I'm gonna tell you who I'm taking the minutes from.
Okay.
Grimes.
What?
Wow.
Yep.
What?
Now
that's it, right? You're gonna get a doorbell.
I know. This is kind of wild, right? But when I was talking about it with John made a very interesting point to me. I didn't even think about it, but it's fair. He said, if we know Cam is in his 4th year, we got him 1 more year, right? We got to make a decision what we're going to do with this guy. And even if we're not going to keep him, we want to showcase him to try to trade him for some assets, right? Wouldn't it make more sense to highlight and showcase Cam and give him the minutes when you still got 3 more years of Grimes under control with this Knicks team?
But he's going to be playing the small forward, so that means he'll be backing up RJ.
Objection.
I have, and I was just going to say what Stafford said.
Yeah, not the.
Now we were projecting RJ is going to be at least playing 32 minutes, so that will be at least what, 14, 15 minutes or something like that, if my math is correct, for Cam.
I just don't see how you take away. Like, I think Grimes earns the minutes off of last season alone. I just don't see that being the guy straight out. Like I said, if you're hypothetically saying no trades, that's what I'm saying. I don't see Cam getting burned. But if we trade these guys that we know who need to be moved, then you open some more opportunity for him. I don't see Tibbs saying, oh, I'm going to, play Grimes 3 minutes a night so I can see Cam. He likes Grimes. I don't see that happening. And
also, too, as Stafford said it, Grimes, he ain't got to worry about that. He's playing the 2. And Cam will be backing up RJ.
Yeah, you're at that point, you're worried about Fournier. That's who you're worried about with the minute as far as that goes.
I hear you. I agree. I mean, you guys are making good points. But my whole thing is if you throw Cam in there, I mean, he can play multiple positions. Maybe not power forward, but he can play small forward. He can play shooting guard. Not that he's going to be the point, but he could if needed, like if you had nobody else. But like I can see him going back and forth between the 2 and the 3. And then in the case if there's a time where RJ's on the court, this is where you move RJ back to the 2 and have Cam at the 3 so they can play together. I'm just saying in those certain situations, that depending on how Tibbs would run the rotation, I could see it where Cam could play the 3 and RJ could still be in there at the 2 because.
But you're gonna have to sell me that dream even more, Ron.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually in favor of that lineup with having Cam at 3 and RJ at the 2. I've always said that because I feel like it's a better fit for RJ, and we know Cam, he's more versatile as far as switching. So I think it would be better for me to see Cam we know Cam's a wing. This is what we've been begging for. So, if the guy actually shows up, why not? I mean, it's better than having Fournier out there. I mean, I can't do it with the defense. So, I mean, you have to do something else. And I think that's the best way to do it if a trade does go down. But like I said, if a trade doesn't go down, I think we're going to see more of the same as far as lineup.
Yeah, I agree.
That makes sense.
What happens to Quickley? If nothing happens, right?
That's what I'm saying, D. These guys are going to get buried. If nothing happens, it's going to be the same story. Guys are getting
and
buried.
The same thing with Brunson too. Brunson might be playing like 32 minutes also too.
I say 35. Tibbs is coaching.
Yeah, he's gonna give him the D Rose treatment. Like people think it's a joke.
Exactly. And Quickley is going to get the rest of the minutes, and then probably D Rose is probably going to just come in as situational.
And see,
if anybody get injury.
Staffer, you know how much of a prick of the finger that is to Tibbs every time you say D Rose situational. Like we all know it needs to happen. We all know it needs to happen, but I don't see Tibbs doing
it. But the whole thing that Rose, and I said this before, I'll say it again. He is our second or first. Me and Ron were debating about this the other day. His second or first best guy on the team that could create his own shot.
Shot creator.
And you're gonna bury him on the third string?
That's what I'm saying.
No way.
Think about it, like, and we're guys that we just
he's injury prone, right? So we at least we're gonna want to preserve him if we do make a run in the second half, and he's nice, good, and healthy for us to even make a push, either in the play in or playoff, however you want to put it. So, I mean, with D Rose, I rather just have him as a third string. If anything, if an injury go down, we could always depend on him, because you got to remember, man, he could only play at least between 10 to 15 minutes or even 10 to 12 minutes if that's the case, because we don't really, I mean, we need him, but we need him more as a lead on the bench to talk to these guys. That's in my opinion.
I hear you, but the thing is that he's still your second or first best shot creator on the team.
No, and I get you. I get you.
I was going to finish the point. And that, so you can't bury that and put it in a situational when the guy can literally come off your bench and give you an easy 10 or 12 and 12 or 15
He's our
minutes.
Jordan Clarkson. Like, he's going to come in and get
so who is going to be the odd man out there?
That's what we're discussing.
That's a huge one.
I say Evan Fournier.
It needs to be Evan Fournier, however.
But it may not be Evan Fournier.
Yeah, however.
But then after you're gonna be taking out our best 3-point shooter,
and we're also taking out our worst defender.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I mean, look.
Staffer, you have a good rebuttal. Like if our shooting doesn't get better, yes, we're gonna be a brick house. But I mean, Fournier's defense is terrible.
We were 13th in the league last year in 3-point percentage. Fournier set a Knick record, right? And we didn't make the play. Yeah. I think I'll take some defense, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we all seen it. We all watched the games last year. It was bad, man. Like, you can't sugarcoat it. Like, you can bring up whatever stats you want. Fournier is a terrible defender. I can't. Like, maybe if you have him coming off the bench, I think he'll actually play better. Somebody just said, who's that, -2? Yeah, he actually just said that. He'll play better, in my opinion, off the bench. Now, will Tibbs do that? I don't know.
Tibbs goes Grimes. Tibbs goes Quickley.
Because like I said, like, guys that y'all want to see playing, they're probably not even going to, get out the warm-ups. Like, we got guys like Sims who's not going to get any burn unless something happens. McBride's not getting any burn unless something happens. So, like, guys like that, they're not even going to, break out the warm-up. So I don't know how the minutes is going to go for the rest of the team. We're kind of log-jammed in a lot of spots right now.
Well, if we don't make a move, I guess we're going to have to see in the first preseason game how the rotation is going to be set.
I think Tom is going to play nice at first and give everybody, but it's not going to be Tom's fault. He's going to have to make a decision and cut minutes. And the front office is going to have to dictate minutes distribution, because the team's too deep. They got too many guys in their third or 4-year contracts that need playing time.
The game will show you what you need to see. Oh, anyway, I don't know. I think what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is that unless there's a changing of the guard, that can happen at any moment. You guys never know when it's going to sneak up on you. Father Time is going to show you something that you're not expecting to see. We saw it last playoff season with Chris Paul. Chris Paul had a birthday, and once he hit the birthday, it was not the same Chris Paul anymore. It's like it hit him. Boom. You ain't the same Chris Paul anymore. Like, it was crazy. So what I'm saying is, when Knick practice starts to happen, they're running their sets and they're running their drills, Thibodeau is going to point to the guys who have the experience, and he's going to come out the gate with them right away. And most likely, those guys are going to rise to the top. If healthy, D Rose is going to be running the sets and stuff that Tibbs likes to do, and he's going to see that, and he's going to say, damn, he's just a little quicker to what I want him to do than these other guys. They're not bad, but he knows exactly what I'm expecting. And I'm telling you, if that's the case, D Rose is going to be picked over, Quickley or whoever it is. He'll rather go with them first, come out the gate, because what Thibodeau likes to do, if you haven't noticed already in the couple seasons he's been with us, he likes to come out the gate with the winning ways. He likes to start the season off on a positive note. So he wants to run with his horses right away. I believe that he'll start with his same formula of using the most experienced starters he's got, most experienced players he's got. And then if they start to falter, then it's on them. And then he can go away from them and start incorporating the younger guys with less experience. But I think he's going to come out the gate with his thoroughbreds. So I wouldn't be surprised if Derrick Rose doesn't start off situational, if he starts off getting some decent minutes and taking minutes away from someone who deserves more early. But this could be the year, because I think Quickley's getting better. Quickley could come out in practice and just be killing D Rose. Not him per se, but just everything he does seems that much quicker than D Rose. He's more efficient. You never know. And that's what this is, the type of stuff that we've been hoping that these Knick young guys will start doing. You got to separate yourself from the pack. This is the problem with Obi. This is why Obi's such a conundrum between him and Randle. Obi's not separating himself from Randle. And I don't know if he can, because Randle is a better player. But if Obi wants to stake his claim to being a person who gets valuable minutes on this team, he's got to start doing some stuff that Randle's not doing. Hustling, getting to spots, playing better defense, blocking some shots. I don't know, dunking on some people that, when say what you will about Randle, he's not as athletic as he was before. Obi's got to do something Randle's not doing.
Facts.
The only way I can look at it right now, but we'll see what happens, man. I think it's a very interesting conversation. I think there's a couple X factors. I think Immanuel Quickley is an X factor for this Knick team. Cam Reddish could be an X factor for this Knick team as well. So we'll see what happens. I think another player who I think we're pumping him up because he's something fresh and new. He's not as good as all of that. But I will say that Hartenstein could be a big piece for this Knick team, a very solid. Like, sometimes you would look at Taj Gibson and say, hey, give Taj too many minutes. He's out there. He's running with the turtles. He's out there with the rubber duckies. But when you give him a certain amount of minutes where he's healthy, he's fresh, Taj was giving you valuable play out there. So maybe Hartenstein can fulfill that same role, and even better, because Hartenstein is a really good passer. We'll see.
You brought up a good point about, it's not just the logjam in the backcourt and with the wings. How is he going to handle the minutes distribution between Randle and Obi? How is he going to handle the minutes distribution between Mitchell and Hartenstein?
Yeah, D, Hartenstein gonna get minutes. Those are those two positions. That position right there, I don't see Mitchell playing. Mitchell averaged about 23 minutes last year or something like that.
I could look right now for you.
Yeah, so
Well, I do keep in mind though that Robinson is freshly paid on a $15 million deal.
You gotta play him. You gotta play Robinson. I think they'll even it out. Stuff.
Yeah, that's what I think too. They'll even out with those minutes over there.
I think you'll see.
In my opinion,
I think you'll see Mitchell play a little bit more because, like you said, you need Mitchell in those key moments.
26, Stafford.
Yeah,
26.
I think he'll play about around the same thing because you're going to need him in those key moments in the game.
Yeah,
we've seen it last year. We need a paint defender.
I would even put minutes like in a box with them. I would think situational.
For games. Yeah. And I think Hartenstein, he helps Mitchell in a way because I think he's that guy who he's not necessarily a stretch, but I mean he'll make them respect him at least from the mid range. So if Mitchell's not in the game, that's more space for these other guys to attack the lane.
And another pressing question that we all have to think about that's big on it's going to be big on the minds of Knicks fans is what number is Quentin Grimes going to switch to? Because number 6 is going to be retired. So what is he? No, I'm just joking.
You know, Ron, I thought about that too, but I don't think it's a big deal though. I think
no, it's not. I'm just messing around. But I did hear that they said the NBA is going to godfather certain players, like LeBron gets to keep his 6, and whoever else who's been doing it at a high level.
Your favorite player, Ron, might also be able to keep number 6, who we haven't talked about in a while.
Who's that?
Oh, Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh, KP.
you know I have to troll a little bit, Ron. We can't be
listen. Well, he probably gets to keep it too. Oh man.
Nah, take it away from him.
Stafford's not playing. No. You got to get your own. Shout out to Keyshawn in the building. Appreciate you. Francisco Carrillo is in the building. C. Cartagena is in the building. Ashley Inc. was good.
Ashley
Knickerbocker is here. And -2 Trill was good. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat. He said Tibbs is still our biggest in-game liability and one of our best assets off the court. Tibbs will cost us a few early games with his old Randle habits. That's a fact. That's a given.
Yeah, I think everybody
mark
knows
that down. If I could put it with the date, if I could star this and bring it back like for the rest of the season, Parrish, I would, because this is definitely a true statement.
Now the question is that if that does happen and this team starts off like 5-10 or something like that, is Tibbs on the chopping block to be relieved? Because I don't think he'll ever be fired. But to be relieved, is that possible?
I think that'll be a little too soon. I just can't see Leon. Can't see them doing it.
I mean, Worldwide West was pushing for him to get fired last year. So, I mean, even if there was a turnout bet, I'll give him until the All-Star break to see if he could turn it around.
Sheesh.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That's a waste, Stafford.
I don't know.
It's a lot of games.
I mean, listen, you gotta remember, Boston was under 500. It's not until when RJ made that shot, they start turning it around and they became the number 1 seed. I'm not saying we're gonna be the number 1 seed, but what I'm saying is that we could turn it around and make a push.
Udoka was a first-year coach, though.
I mean, look at the other kid in New Orleans too. He was a first-year coach. Am I correct, or that's with his second year?
No, it was his first.
Okay, so I mean,
I was going to say that you can't compare it because Tibbs has been around the league for 20, 30 years, and this could be his last hurrah.
Oh, it is.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it is to me, in my opinion, it is. But I think, all right. So even if we do get rid of him within the first 15 games or however games, who are we replacing him with?
I guess that's the next man up.
Yeah, I was about to say they're going to keep it in-house. Yeah, they're going to keep it in-house, and it'll be Rick Brunson. That's what.
Now, I will say this: if shout out to Enzo, appreciate you, and D-Ras in the building. If we had Donovan Mitchell, if Donovan Mitchell was here, and we got off to one of them weird starts, or we lost a lot of games like in succession. I definitely think Tibbs could get the axe and be relieved of his duties at that point, and I definitely could see Johnny Bryant stepping up as the interim in that situation. That I could see that easy. Without Donovan here, I think it's still a little funky. We'll see what the whole dynamic is with this team. We'll see what Rick Brunson's impact is with the team if they start to gravitate to him, because this is what you start to. That's why you got to read the tea leaves. We see how the season starts. Oh yeah, and some of the players start playing well, and then if they start bringing up Coach Brunson, Coach Brunson has been great. You pay attention to that because those are the little signals.
But isn't he a top assistant, but not the associated head?
No. Johnny Bryant's ahead of him.
Yeah,
Johnny Bryant has the he's next in line.
Yeah, he's next in line.
So we'll see. We'll see. Thank you once again, Parish Doug. Appreciate you. Yeah, so I just think that whole thing is very interesting. It's another thing we got to watch and see how it plays out. I think now it's time to get into the hot fire.
Oh god,
the sizzling over here. We're gonna get into this Julius Randle thing. Sherwin is like, go ahead, Ron. Let me see what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I got about 10. I got about 5 to 10 more minutes with y'all. I gotta go pick up my baby girl. School shopping. School starts.
Nice.
It's about that time.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah, it starts
That's
on
great.
Monday,
That's great.
so.
All right, so let's kick it off, and we'll get you in here first as to your thoughts on it, Staffer. So here's the thing. We know that. I mean, if you don't know, now you know. This is, for all intents and purposes, at this moment, Jalen Brunson's team. Not because necessarily he's done anything with the Knicks for us to look at him and say he's the guy. It's about what he's done, where he's been, and the pivotal role that he can play. He's the orchestrator on this team. So it puts a lot of emphasis on his role with the team, and he becomes the number one option because he can either take it or he can facilitate and get other people in the right spots. So he becomes the number one guy. They've invested money in him. You know the relationships that are developed around. It's right now it's Brunson's team. However you guys want to look at it, that's what it is. I had to acquiesce and understand that myself, but I get it. It's his team.
Absolutely.
Second in line is a toss-up between Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, right? But Julius Randle already got his money. Julius had a regression last year because of his own stuff that he had going on. We're hoping he can get out of that and get back to the ways of Julius Randle that we're used to. But that's still a give. We don't know. We can't tell what Julius is going to be until he gets out there in the court and we start to see it. And even then, it's going to take time because Julius can come out the gate blazing, right? Could be the home game. They could start off on the road away, and he could be blazing. Then he comes into the Garden, all that stuff starts to come back to him. You never know how he's going to act, right? So we got to see how he plays. RJ, this is a big year. This is money year. Whatever it is, you know how people play in the money year. They got to go all out. RJ needs to go all out anyway because he had a bad year efficiency-wise last year, even though his numbers were a little higher than what they were in the past. But efficiency, was poor. So he's got to improve on that. It's a show improve year. Plus, he wants the max. So if you want the max, you got to go out there and ball out and stake your claim. So I'm predicting that RJ becomes the number 2 on the team. I'm not saying Julius wouldn't deserve it. I'm just thinking that what RJ does is going to be a little bit more impactful because he has to be. He's trying to get paid, and he's also trying to elevate his name because people are still looking at RJ like he's a bum around the league. And I'm not saying it's fellow players like peers, but it's like fans and media. They're still not giving RJ his credit. So this is another year of show and prove, but the biggest one because it's about money. So I expect RJ to become the number 2. That makes Randle the number 3. Now, Randle, by default, has been the number 1 for the Knicks because we didn't have anybody else. And he got the money. He got the bag early. How's Randle going to take that, becoming the number 3 on this team if that happens? And then if you bring in Donovan Mitchell and Randle's still here, Randle comes number 4. So what do you guys think about Randle being the 3 or 4, knowing that he was the default 1? And I brought up an analogy of, being in a situation where I had a job, I got promoted to another job, and while I was getting promoted, the person above me who was running the program was let go. So then I'm starting doing my new job, and I'm running that. And then because there was nobody else running this, I had to run that too. So I'm doing 2 jobs. And I did that for a few months. And I got used to it. And we were running okay. And then they bring in somebody, obviously with more experience, to take over the lead role and run everything. But, after a little while, you get used to it. You're like, now I don't want to work for nobody. Like I was doing my own thing. So how do you think Julius is going to take the fact that he was the default 1? Now he might even turn into be the number 3 currently. And if they get Donovan, he could turn into the number 4 option. Staff, what do you think?
I'll let you go, Stafford.
All right. All right. First, I'm gonna agree with you with it's Jalen's team. Right? I will give you that. But I still think when coming down to the offense, I still think they're going to go through Julius as the first option. As far as the second option, I still think it's going to be RJ. Right now, if in a situation where we need a bucket, I see Jalen Brunson getting us that bucket because he's the one that's going to be facilitating and controlling the team. So I see him trying to get Julius going first. If Julius doesn't get going, I see him trying to get RJ going. Okay, because as you stated, this is a big year for RJ. He wants to prove that he is worthy of probably a max, and he could also put the bucket in the hole. And as far as Brunson, I see him just, give me the ball in certain situations to go get us a bucket. It's either he's going to play make or he's going to go get go to the paint and try and get a jump shot or take whoever it is to the bucket, to the hole. Now, if you say Donovan is here now, that changes the whole dynamic. I think Brunson is going to get Donovan first. I think he's going to get once he's going, I think he's going to get Julius going because you can't just have outside perimeter shooting. You're going to have something in the inside. So I definitely think Julius is going to be the second option if he's here. And then I think RJ, and then I think Brunson Brunson to extent when we need a bucket. The two in crunch time, I think it's going to be Brunson, Donovan, and I gotta flip it up between either RJ or Julius if Donovan is here. I know it's a rough take, but that's how I see it. I don't think they're going to just have Julius as a third or fourth option. I don't think so because they're going to need something on the inside. You can't just play on the outside all the time. So I think that I'm going with that take.
Okay. Well, no, that's a fair take. But the only thing I want you to keep in mind is because Brunson is the point guard and he's going to be the one, like you said, you think Brunson is going to give the ball to, Julius first or give the ball to RJ. After that, Brunson is the first guy with the ball. So he automatically becomes the first option. He has to see what goes on. If Julius don't get to the right spot, don't get the right positioning of they're trying to double team him and play keep away, then Brunson has to make a different decision. He can either pass it to somebody else or he can take it himself. That's why he becomes the first option. So that's why he's number one in that realm, right? So I do see what you're saying as far as going to Randle because you want that inside out mix. We still don't know if that's another thing. On the team, will Randle decide to become more of an inside out type of player? Because he's been very outside in. And I don't think that's working for the Knicks. I don't think it's working for Randle either. But I just want to throw that out there. Shout out to Danny. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good, Danny.
What's up, Ron? What's up, D? Sam? Staffer?
What's up, Danny?
Everything's good. How you guys?
Good. Good to see you, brother. Always appreciate you. I want to get to Sam because I know Sam had his thought. Sam, what are you thinking?
So me personally, I kind of like until it happens, I'm kind of like shelling it out of my mind that Mitchell's here, right? So I'm thinking, as the roster currently constructed, right? I don't see Randle having an option, a problem really. If he did have to take a step back, like let's say if he does become the second or third option, I think he would kind of welcome that, considering the fact that we all know that on a championship level team, Randle is a great third or fourth option. So if RJ does take that jump and Brunson is the number one option, I don't really see it being an issue for Randle. The only problem I think that will arise is just the chemistry at the beginning. Like, I think that they're still gonna have to work out a whole lot of things as far as just playing together. Because, I mean, I personally don't put stock in the pro-am games, but a lot of people did for whatever reason, and they felt like the team wasn't flowing well. But in my opinion, I don't see Randle really having an issue taking the third option so he can exploit his matchup if RJ really does take off, and we know Brunson comes in here and does what he's supposed to do. Because if you think about it, Randle did on his deal, like, he took that money because he wanted them to bring in other guys. So I don't think it's not him, like, not wanting to see better players come on the team.
That's fair.
Wait, interesting. So I just wanted to say, Knicks 100, I saw you said something about IQ wearing number 6. Yeah, I was just on the I'm looking at the wrong damn thing. You right. My bad. My bad, guys. You right. IQ. You know, because if you go to the NBA site, you look at Quentin Grimes, there's a big 6 over his head. Maybe you think that was his number, but no, they were counting the Knicks players. He's number 6. Okay. Anyway, forget it. My bad. Sorry. But hey, technically I was half right. Yeah.
Like that.
Anyway. Yeah, so here's the question. No, I appreciate both your answers, Stafford and Sam. But my thought is, Sam answered it. Stafford, I don't know if you answered it. You gave me your breakdown of how you think it's going to play out. But the question really is, do you think that Julius would be okay with being the third or fourth option if it shakes out that way? You're right. He could still be one option above what I listed him at. He could be the 2 or 3. Like if Donovan's here, he could be 3. Because if Donovan's here, he is 3, right? It still becomes maybe Donovan turns into number 1, Jalen's number 2, and then it's Julius possibly being number 3. Staff, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think about? Do you think Julius is okay with being the 3 or 4 or the 2 or 3 if Donovan was here? Do you think he'd be okay being the third option?
When I started with Donovan being here, I said Donovan, Brunson, and then there's a toss up between either Randle or RJ. Right, so I wouldn't see him having a problem. And Sam make a good point too. When he did sign that contract, it was hoping to bring better players around him.
That's true,
right? So
great point.
In a sense, really and truly, I don't see him having a problem being the third or fourth option. If Donovan gets here, So. So I really don't. I don't see it. As somebody said in the chat, if he wants to win, he has to adapt. There's no other choice. If not, as I said on Queen's Court, shout out to Steph. If you're going to be the cancer, we don't need you around the team, bro. If you don't want to win, we don't need you around the team, bro. Right?
Yeah.
So he definitely has to adapt, being either the 3 or the 4, and that's if RJ takes another step and being really, really, really good. Yeah, he might be the fourth option.
Oh, okay. Danny, what do you think, man? You think that if that's the case, who knows what's going to happen? Like, it's going to play out. We're going to find out what happens, and we're also going to see how this is going to show you a lot about how Tibbs has faith and still sees Randle. He could be the number 2 option. He could be 3 or 4, depending on if we acquire Donovan. But do you think he would be okay with that? Do you see him still, flourishing in that role and doing what he needs to do for the team?
I think so. I think it'll be okay. But this Donovan thing is like getting tiresome. Like at this point, like if it happens, great. If it doesn't, like I think these other guys are gonna be like vastly improved. Quickley, Obi, this Brunson addition. Brunson's going to help a lot of players out. When you have a point guard that can control the tempo, When I used to play full court, and I had this guy used to always play point guard. This guy Anthony, he used to get me the ball always down low. I was like a down low person. I didn't care about outside. I wanted to destroy big people underneath the basket. And he controlled everything. He got everybody involved. That changed the whole game. Like, Brunson is going to help everybody. So if this Mitchell thing doesn't happen, so be it. I don't really care, to be honest anymore. It's too long, too much talk, too many rumors, too much, yap. I want to see Quickley and Obi.
Right.
And Randle, too. With Randle, I think he should be more of an inside dude. Like, these threes, he shouldn't be really popping threes. He should go onto the basket and do his thing, because he's a big guy, Randle. He can use his body good. And he could, get people to double him down there, and he got to someone who could hit the three. That's it.
Right.
He shouldn't be chucking up threes. It should be someone else who's, more of a 3-point shooter than him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And once again, I'm just qualifying the question so everybody in the chat understands it as well. It's not about whether or not Randle can be successful in the role. He's got all the skills. We know Randle's a walking double-double, a double-double and a half, if you want to say that.
Some people say it's empty stats, though.
Yeah, no, I that's true. But it's about whether he mentally can be okay with it and whether you'll still see the best of Julius Randle. Mind you, let's not forget, this whole past season was everything that happened with Julius Randle was, can't even say it. Julius Randle was all mental. Like, he still knows how to play basketball. He still can get you points and rebounds and assists. He knows what to do out there. He was just going through a lot. There was a lot weighing on him, right? And maybe he wasn't processing it and dealing with it in the right way, and it affected him and affected his game. But the stuff can be done. My whole point is the role. Say what you guys can say what you will about you. I mean, it's not about whether he can do it. He can do it, but it's about the feeling. Okay, yes, Julius Randle wanted to take less money to bring other guys here. Great. I appreciate it. I applaud him for that. To me, he's a true Knick. He wanted to be here. He took the money. He came here early when he didn't have to. Took his 2 years, 18 million per, right? And now he played his way into a bigger contract, which he's starting the first year of that now. And he took less money even in that negotiation so he could have other players around him. That's great. But when you think about it, that's something a leader would do. So he's positioning himself to do this to help the team, but he's also trying to show I'm a leader. I'll take less money to have my guy, to have better people around me so we can win, because I want to bring winning to the Garden. I want the Knicks fans to see a winning team. That doesn't mean that he wants you to replace him as the leader and bring in guys who are better than him. Doesn't mean he wants you to bring in LeBron James and now he becomes second fiddle. I'm just saying, psyche-wise, is he comfortable with making that transition, that change from being the de facto number one to going lesser down in the totem pole? That's all I'm getting at. That's all. It's an all mental thing. This is listen. This is Knick off season, guys. We're talking about a lot of different things because there's no basketball right now. We had basketball.
Right, there's no possibilities. But anyway, Ron, I want to thank you for having me on as usual. It's been a long time since I came on, chop it up with you on a Saturday. I appreciate the love all the time. These World of Hoops, I gotta subscribe to your channel because I didn't even know you was doing videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and check out your work, man. You always do a great job. Sam, thanks, keep doing your thing. Stay in school. Listen to your parents. If she tell you to do 100 push-ups, you better go do it.
That's right.
All right, stop. Be safe.
All right, thanks, and Danny, salute, man. Salute. And salute to the chat, yo. Peace, love, and blessings to everyone. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm out.
You too.
All right, staff. Take care.
Yeah.
D, what's your thoughts on this whole Julius Randle thing? How you feel about it, brother? Well,
first things first, we all agree on the panel that Jalen Brunson's the number one option on this team, right?
Yeah, I think that's
can't disagree on that one.
Because the chat is kind of divided on it.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but I mean, we all know what the truth, what it's going to be.
I mean, the guy averaged 16, 5, 4, not even 2 turnovers. Okay, and he shot 68% at the rim for being 6'2", 6'3", 51% from short mid, 48% from long mid, 50%, quarter three, 47% off 78 attempts. Non-quarter three is 32, all three is 37. Considering the fact that him and Rose are the only players on this team that has sniffed the conference finals. Okay, him and Rose are the only guys on this team that have had any type of success that looks that way. The fact that he is born in blood with the CAA team, and this is like their crown gem right now, I don't think there's a discussion that he is the number one option on this team. The ball will run through him, absolutely.
And just I'll let you keep going. Another thing I wanted to point out, a lot of what everybody's saying when they're talking about Jalen Brunson, and even stuff that I saw in the chat, like people feel like Jalen Brunson can make other guys better. The only way he can make other guys better is by having the ball. That's why he's the number one option. He's got to have the ball. He's got to be able to create and orchestrate out there on the court. So he's got to be your go-to guy at first, and it all disseminates, because this is what a true point guard would do.
He's
this
the
is
floor
what we
general.
haven't had. So yeah, go ahead, my fault.
Yeah, no doubt. And press two with Brunson and Rose are the only guys on this team that could truly create their own shot. Randle's ISO efficiency last year, I believe, was 49th or 47th. RJ was around 49th to 47th, and Immanuel Quickley was at 40th. And I think Jalen was like around 27, 30, some of that nature. So there's no doubt in my mind who's going to have the ball in their hands and who's going to be orchestrating, who's going to be breaking down the defense, getting guys involved, getting their own shots, stuff of that nature. So now to your question. So repeat the question one more time.
Do you think Julius Randle would be okay with possibly being the third or fourth option on this Knicks team? And even if you want to say that he still gets, he's high in the tiers, is he even okay with being the third option if like Donovan Mitchell is here or something of that nature? Yeah.
Okay, so I'll speak without Mitchell because I don't think the Mitchell thing's going to happen. So
Me too.
I'll speak in terms as if that's not going to happen. I think that they'll have no choice but to roll out Randle as the two because there's no clear-cut number two on this team. RJ has a lot of proving grounds to prove this year. And there's going to have to be another guy that's going to have to take the next leap, whether it be Obi, IQ, and Grimes. It's definitely going to have to be one of them. That's going to have to take a major leap and level up. But I think for now, it will be Randle at the two. Now, my thing with Randle is that last year, if you notice when his infractions started happening and when they started totaling up, was after January. And what happened in January? RJ's shot per attempts went up, I think, by 3 or 4, and his ball usage ended up going up 5 or 6% throughout the rest of that season. And Julius Randle was acting a fool. I have film that Julius Randle literally cut off RJ Barrett when they were in transition and RJ had the guy sealed, like kind of like how Obi does it. And the pass was there. All I had to do was the pass be made. And Julius Randle came and posted up not only on the same side, but like 5 feet away from him in the same transition. He did that to Cam as well. There was a play where Cam got the steal and he cut off Cam's lane when it was Cam's lane to take. He literally came from the other side of the court to cut off his lane. So and then with all the other infractions that went on, I kind of hold the theory. I could be wrong, it's subjective at the end of the day. But if I hold a position, right, and my position is there's 2 Danny Andersons here. But my position is if I work at McDonald's, right, and my position is a manager, right, and I get demoted, do you think I'm going back to drive-thru and fries?
No way.
So I think that hurts people's egos. I think it hurts their emotions. And Randle did show signs of that. And can he change? Of course he can. And look, he's going to be the 2 on this. And nobody's going to compete with him for a while in that. He's going to be the guy. He's in the first year of his $100 million contract. Okay, just the last season, he was the most improved player. People are looking at Julius like this is a bounce back year for you, bro. That's how they look. Excuse me. That's how they're looking at it. So, but for example, now to answer your question, if RJ was to just ascend and RJ comes out a completely different player next year, and there's no choice but for him to be your 2 guy or your 1A, your 1B, right? I think Randle will have a heavy problem with that. He's not going to see the basketball. He's going to see it as spots. And I think he'll have a problem with that. So it's all up to Randle at the end of the day. If he comes out guns blazing next year, there'll be no matter how good RJ plays, there'll be no discussion who the balls and where the ball should be in whose hands after Jalen Brunson. If he comes out and plays like the Cinderella year, no doubt about that. So I think that's where it stands. It's up to Julius Randle.
And once again, I want to say this so that people understand. I think when the season starts for this New York Knicks team, Brunson and let me put this up because this was interesting. So Nick Jr. 79, salute to you. Thank you for tuning in. He said, is the number 1 option the same as the primary ball handler? Not necessarily, but for this Knicks team, it will be because, like, say Alec Burks was our point guard, right? He was going to be our starting point guard. He's not your number 1 option. And it's also because of the way he plays and how his usage is. Jalen Brunson is going to get heavy usage because, as you point to what D's World of Hoops said, his efficiency rating is through the roof. He's a very efficient player from all spots on the court, especially certain spots, and he can break down his defender, get into the lane, get his own shot. So that's why he becomes the number 1 option. It's one thing if you go out there and, like, we need a point guard who can facilitate, make the right decisions. He's more than that because of the fact that he can get his own shot. Like, he lives in the lane. His midi is great. And he gets you some 3-point shots, especially depending on where he is on the court. He's very efficient at that too, depending on where he is. So a guy like that becomes a number 1 option because he can pass it to you, or he can just take it. Or, if things are going right, this is why he makes other guys better, because as soon as, Brunson gets on the court, he sees how the defense is setting up. They run a couple sets. Maybe it's a package for Julius, right? Julius hits a couple shots in a row, like consecutively. The defense is like, okay, well, Julius looks like he might have it. We got to kind of shut that down. Let's try to nip it in the bud right away. So they might send an extra player over to him, right? So someone else is open. Either Jalen Brunson sees the person is open, kicks it to that person, they get a nice shot, or maybe the help defense is coming from whoever's guarding Brunson. So now Brunson can say, oh, okay, you want to play off me? Take it straight to the hole, and he gets his bucket. That's why he's the number 1 option, because he has so many choices in a guy, and that's what the Knicks have been missing. We haven't had that guy who can do that and make the right choices. So that's the point. That's how I explain it. Some people might have a different interpretation of it. That's how I look at it.
You know what, too, Ron? Jalen Brunson averaged 22 points a game and 7 assists in 22 games without Luka last year.
Right. I love that stat. I stopped saying it because people kept killing me. Like, it's not enough. It's a good amount of games. I don't know.
20, that's not a good sample size.
Listen, Ron, there will never be enough. It's always something. Moving on.
I know.
So, and the fact that and JJ Redick, his podcast, he actually broke down 2 seasons of his numbers without Luka, and it was around the same. It was on the same points and assists and rebounds. So that tells me that this is a guy that's just been waiting to be unleashed, bro, and he will be unleashed without a doubt. He'll play enough minutes. He'll have the ball in his hand.
And one more caveat, if you want to add to it, what D's saying, the point is Jalen Brunson was behind Luka. Luka's the primary over there, really. But the Knicks, we don't necessarily have a primary. Jalen Brunson has enough in his tool chest that he can average 20 points a game. Easy.
Absolutely.
That's not necessarily what we want to see from him. We want him to make the right decisions and get other people involved. And if that doesn't present itself, then we want him to go get it, right? But if say we didn't want him to be that type of guy, we want to feature you. Jalen can do 20 points a game.
10 assists a game.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's far.
That might be tough.
That's a reach, right?
We'll see. I don't know, but yeah, but that's another reason why I say, that's another way you look at him as the number one option. Could Alec Burks get you 20 points a game? No. Yeah, so stuff like that. That's my little way of looking at it. Shout out to Sango Waldron. 1 second, D. Bodega Wi-Fi. Knicks will be 2026 NBA champs. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love. Keith Turner. Salute to you. Canal Band Lauya in the building. What's good?
What's up, Canal?
And OG Phase 3 is here. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got 121 people in here watching right now. Hit that like button. Appreciate you if you can.
Subscribe.
52,
yeah,
right?
Lucas says subscribe.
Yeah, if we can hit that like button, man, get them likes up to 100. If we could get that likes up to 100, that'd be great. I appreciate it. Thank you for showing the channel love, man. Thank you guys. What were you going to say, D?
Oh, go ahead, D.
Yeah. No, go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say, hit this real quick. G. Robinson made a great point. His turnover rate is really nice, too, Brian.
Beautiful. Fantastic. And it's the intangibles, too. It's the non-circus acts. It's the leadership. It's the lead by example. It's the efficiency. It's the consistency. Haven't had that, man. This is a no-brainer.
Keyshawn, what's good?
What's going on, guys? Salute.
It's good. How you doing?
Keyshawn.
All right, I'm all right.
It's always funny to me. I laugh at this. I'm I guess the only person who ever thought this. In the very beginning when I first saw Sam and I saw Keyshawn, I thought they were the same person. I thought, like, is this guy using 2 different accounts? Because your voices are similar. So I thought that was funny. What's going on, Keyshawn? What do you think about what we've been talking about so far, man?
I think you guys are head on, like, as far as like the Brunson situation. I think he's just gonna add another level of like of something we never had. Like we don't have ball handlers on this team, and we actually have someone who can handle the ball and gonna be available, unlike Derrick Rose, unfortunately. But
shots fired.
I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna open the team up a lot. Like, honestly,
is he a tier 1 guy?
Tier 1 isn't like an elite player.
Yeah, like tier 1, tier 2. Is he like? Could he be around there?
Yeah, you'd be tier 2.
Okay. It's nice of
you
him.
know.
Jalen would definitely donate to that. Absolutely.
He could be. I mean, I don't know. We'll see though.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting problem to have, and I'm really I just honestly, it's like I've never been more excited for a guy to be able to show what he can do for this Knicks team. Because other guys we might have brought in, when Carmelo was coming here, I was just happy to get Carmelo, man. Like, oh man, Carmelo Anthony's coming to the Knicks finally. That was great. But a guy like Jalen Brunson, who I think the fan base, there's a lot of people in the fan base that still sleep on what this guy can do. They don't realize how efficient and how solid of a player he is. And I like talking to everybody. I was talking to D about it. I was talking to a couple other people about it. I like the fact that this guy looks like a blue-collar guy who just goes out there, does his job, gets to the rim, does this, can pass the ball, does this. If you need him to take a shot and score, does this. And another really great thing about Jalen Brunson, when the Knicks, when Dallas was in trouble, when Dallas had moments where Luka was not out there or they were double teaming Luka or what have you, and they were trying to find somebody else to get them buckets, Jalen stepped up. Jalen would go get them buckets. I know it's Pro-Am. Even in the Pro-Am game that everybody's making such a big deal about with regards to them losing to that team and having 3 NBA guys on the team, you look at the game, Knicks lost, yes, but they were down, right? And they were getting back into it because Jalen got hot. The fourth quarter, I don't know how it's set up over there, if it's second half or fourth quarter, he started getting busy. He was hitting them successively. Jalen gets the ball, goes down, scores. Jalen gets the ball, goes down, scores. Jalen gets the ball, goes down. This is what Jalen can do. And it doesn't matter what you do against him because he's crafty. And I was saying, like, he's a very workman type player, but he ain't one of those, like, he got some flash in the pan. He got a flash in the bag too. Like, I joke about it because I couldn't believe it when I see him, some of the stuff he does. There's a highlight package out there on the internet. If you can find it, I don't have it with me right now. Sorry, guys. But he's working on different crazy behind the back, through the dribble, above his spin around type moves that you wouldn't think a guy like that would. That's something you expect Kyrie to do. But Jalen messes around with stuff too. Like the people sleeping on Jalen. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think that's a good point, Ron, too, because I'm another person who believes that he's a sneaky athletic type player. Like he doesn't look the part, but he's definitely more athletic than people give him credit for. I think that's another thing that people sleep on. And just like from my remembrance of being a Knicks fan, like I haven't seen a guy even close to this from the point guard position. Like I said, the best that I've probably ever seen was Raymond Felton, and he's not even close to Brunson. Like not at all. So I mean, a guy like this, I mean, some fans are right to have certain optimism to a certain extent with Brunson here because you haven't seen a point guard this good, at least since I've been alive. So that's what, 22 years.
And shout out to Keith Turner. That's a really good point. I think, I like I said, this conversation is just about the thought process. What do you guys think? Randle. If Randle can be in the situation to handle this, if that's the case, I do think that Randle gets a bad rap. But I also know that Randle wears his emotions on his sleeve, whatever that phrase. Sometimes you look at his face or his mannerisms, the way he's acting, and you're trying to figure out what the hell he's telling us. People do that all the time. That's life, right? We don't know exactly what we're seeing. People thought Randle hated Obi. Obi will tell you, I love Randle, and he loves me. He talks to me all the time. We're always talking about stuff. He's giving me pointers. So sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover. That's not always what it looks like. But then there's other people that say you can see by his mannerisms, certain things that are happening on the court, he starts to tune out. And he doesn't do himself any favors. Knick team is winning, and your game is not going. And instead of congratulating your teammates and celebrating the win, you're walking off the court. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Yeah. So, as much as I want to shoot him some bail, in some cases, I think we're overreacting. Maybe it looks worse than it is. Then there's other cases when it looks exactly like what it is because he's showing you by his actions. So it's iffy.
I think he means well, though. It's just, he just can't get over certain, immaturities that he has.
Yeah. And I also think that, and I didn't mean to cut you off if you want to continue. I also think that Randle is just so extremely hard on himself. People think he's doing it maliciously to take it out on his teammates, or there's something that his teammate is doing, or RJ's getting crazy and he doesn't like the fact that RJ's doing things well and he's not. I don't think it's that. I think I think Julius is really hard on himself, and he feels like in Julius's mind, he wants to be a great, okay? I don't care what you guys say, the way his work ethic is, how hard he works out, the fact that he talked to Kobe and Kobe gave him so many nuggets and pearls of advice. And so he started adopting that, going to random gyms when he's in different cities and working out. That's a Kobe tactic. And Randle's doing that because Randle wants to be great. I just think that he's so hard on himself, and it's not coming as easily to him as he'd like it to with all the effort and work that he's putting in, that sometimes he doesn't know how to handle his emotions. It's too much. He's frustrated and it's looking a certain way towards others. And granted, sometimes he's not helping himself because it's just really bad timing and positioning. I don't care what you're mad about, what play just happened. If you see your fellow teammate on the court falls right in front of you and you see him, pick his ass up.
Oh, look at you, B.
Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. Pick him up, man. That's your teammate.
Same thing happened to Grimes. Grimes was like, oh, and everybody was just like,
yeah, they're just like, oh, this guy. And then they just walked away. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so stuff like that. Just make it. Sometimes you got to do things and make an effort. You know what I mean? You know how there's people who feel a certain way about how they live their life. You live your life. You're being you. I'm me. This is how I am, right? But sometimes to help, others, like your teammates, how they perceive you, and let them know that you're in their corner. Sometimes you might have to do something that, you don't feel. I don't really need to do this. It's like going out you know how you go out to eat with somebody and there's different people do things different ways. Like you go out to eat and everybody's trying something new and they're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna order the chicken, blah blah blah, and you're getting the steak. Can I have a piece of your steak? Right? Some people are like that. They want to try, your food just to see how it tastes so they can order it next time, and they want to eat what they got, right? But then there's other people that, they order what they want. I got the chicken. I love the chicken. That's all I want. I don't care about the steak. I don't want to try yours. I just want to try the steak. And Julius, I'm using this in a system, like Julius just does what Julius does. So he's like, oh man, I didn't pick up Obi, but Obi knows I got him. He's my dude. But it's how it looks to everybody else. Like I'm mad about something and people understand that I'm mad, but Obi knows how I feel, but everybody else don't know. They're not your teammates. So they look at it a certain way. And that's what I'm saying. Julius needs to go a little bit above and beyond to try to do certain things to help, change the perception of who he is right now as a player. Or shout out to Nothing But Knicks, Sim in the building. I see you.
Good, Sim.
Sim.
Or the flip side is he could do what Sim has suggested a while ago. He could become the villain. Sim said, maybe he can adopt that villain role. For some people around the league, it works. Draymond Green is a villain type. Draymond does what he does, says what he says, but he's balling out. Okay, you're not questioning how he impacts the team. And then he has his moments where he does his other stuff, get in your face, and trip you, whatever. But like there's guys like that live in that villain role and they still are successful and they're still adored by fans.
There's an attribute that you need to be the villain role that I don't think Julius has. You can't care what people think. And Julius cares.
That is an interesting point. Julius definitely cares what people think. That's true. You cannot care if you want to be the villain. That's true. Yeah.
And got a dog playing with the toy, going crazy.
What does this say here? So Sim said, I think he's more crafty than athletic. He doesn't have the speed and athleticism. He needs to develop a dope dribble package.
Who's this?
I think it's talking about Jalen Brunson.
He has a dribble package.
But I'm gonna tell you, Sim, I don't know, man. I've been looking at some of these practices. Like you don't see it necessarily in the game. But I've been looking at some of the stuff that he's doing when he's messing around with the trainers. This dude look like he got handles. So
and then this too, we know. Trust me, we know what not having a dribble package looks like. So I think he has one because we definitely know what not looking like you have one. And I hate to say it, but RJ doesn't have one. So we know what not.
RJ's terrible.
Right. So we know we can see the difference between Brunson and RJ. So I would give him a little bit of credit for having.
And you don't do what he did in the playoffs without having the dribble package to get to your spots consistently. He gets the same team game after game during the playoff.
What I will say is that I point to that's another reason why Jalen is so important for this team, because he does mess around and do all types of crazy stuff that I've seen him trying to do in practice when he's messing around, and he doesn't do that in key situations in the basketball game. He knows this is not the time for me to do something wild right here. I just need to get to my spot, cross you over, just get the separation. I don't need to get too fancy with it. That's another smart attribute from, a smart, heady type player. Once again, something else that the Knicks have not been having from that point guard position. No knock on guys that have been doing it, but it is what it is. Like,
okay, that is a good point.
Okay, so all right, I see what you're saying. Hold on.
Yeah, that's a good point then.
All right, so Sim is saying, I'm saying that's why he does have a handle. Okay, I guess I misinterpreted the way I read it. I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying. Shout out to Jay Busby. What fans perceive and what his teammates perceive are usually totally different. Some
guys are just hard to read. Maybe Randall's one of those guys. He's just, he's just hard to read.
True.
Oh, that's what Sim is saying. Now Sim cleared it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It makes sense now that he said that.
Now I get it.
Yeah. Okay. He said, I'm saying the reason he has a dribble package is because of his lack of speed in it.
Got it.
There you go. And that's, you know what? That's a really good point, Sim. It also points to what Jalen has said, what he has mentioned in his interviews, being the underdog, always being looked at because of his, lack of excellent athleticism, his height, and always being looked at a certain way. So what he does is he works on what he can work on. Okay, I can't grow any taller than I am.
Right.
I can't be more athletic. I just don't have it. But what I can do is continue to work on my dribble. I can get that dribble package going. Continue to work on my inside presence, how I get to the rim. I'm 6'1", whatever it is, and I get to the rim whenever I want, and I finish efficiently. Or put me in the corner. I'm knocking down those threes at an efficient level from the corner. Like, this is the type of stuff, and this is why I think people will fall in love with Jalen Brunson.
I think RJ could get in the gym with Brunson and really learn a lot of things as far as, handling and things like that. Because of those reasons you just pointed out.
Right.
You know who's got good handle? Quickley has good handle.
Does he?
He does. What I seen to him, he knows how to move that ball around.
Not.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't put him in the same category.
Quickley only goes east and west. He does not go. I do not see a dribble move with that man. But he did improve from the first year a little bit.
I think he's definitely getting better, and he's working on everything. He's working on all aspects of his game. Dribbling, having better court presence, court awareness. He looks like he's bulking up a little bit, so he's trying to be able to be a little bit more physical, or maybe even just take the contact better, finishing in the lane or something like that. So I'm never going to question Quickley's work ethic and what he's working on, because he's definitely someone who steadily looks like he's improving. So shout out to him. Shout out to Angel Blue in the chat. William is in the chat. Eric Surreal is here. Bricks Nation in the building. And Alton Lee. What's good, y'all?
Yeah, and with the Fisher with ball handlers, our main guys that can really dribble, break down the defense consistently is Rose and Brunson. And those are some of your shorter guys on the team. So, RJ's going to have to develop it more. Julius is going to have to develop it more. Cam is going to have to develop it more. Grimes was pretty good in the summer league. Interested what he looks like in the next couple of months. So yeah, that's going to be a big area. Let's see how that works.
Shout out and salute to C_Mac. What's going on, brother? As always, good to see you. Thank you for being here. G Robinson says Brunson is no nonsense, so he will be able to tame Randle, because last year's Randle did whatever he wanted with no consequence.
I'm with that.
I think you'll see that too. We know that. Brunson. He's a proven leader, and I think he's shown, even from past experience, even if you go off of last season, he gets the team together and they all come under one common goal, and that's to win games.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see Randle fall in line with that.
Yeah. And I think Brunson has the mentality just like our young guys on the team, like Grimes and IQ. They work hard. Like they play with a chip on their shoulder, like they have something to prove. And I think adding that to the team is definitely just gonna help these young guys like sharpen their sword pretty much.
Yeah. And another thing too is that not only does Brunson bring those intangibles, Brunson also has the backing of the whole front office and coaching staff as well. So he will have no choice but to.
Agreed. I think that's very true. I think that with regards to this Knicks team, as I said before, I think this Knicks team is going to be better than what people think. They're still in a loaded Eastern Conference, so it's going to be tough. This is a very frustrating time. Imagine your team making some improvements, and it could change the whole dynamic of the team. They could be a lot more, not even just like you brought in a better player, a more efficient player, but the team itself could be more efficient. Less turnovers from Julius Randle, less turnovers from RJ Barrett, better shot opportunities, better shot takes from Randle and RJ, because that's important, right? Hopefully, with Tibbs' newfound understanding of the rotation and how to allocate minutes, maybe less Evan Fournier in bad defensive spots, maybe more Cam Reddish, more Quentin Grimes, so that he's not as much of a liability, yet you still get what he can give you on the offensive end, if he's still on the team. So overall, the whole team can be better. The addition of Hartenstein, a nice new fresh backup who has a good skill set, and also who can protect the rim, that can spell Mitchell Robinson. Because say what you will about Jericho Sims, which I really like how he's improving on his game. I like what we saw in the summer league, what he's working on offensively and different things he's trying to do. defensively, he still has to work because it's not just about his ability to jump out the gym. It's about his timing. It doesn't matter if you jump into block a shot. If your timing is off, the guy can still score over you. You know, it's just like working on those different aspects of his game defensively and being more of a deterrent, continuing to be strong on the rebounding end. All these different things can improve, and he can work on it. And now with Hartenstein there, he doesn't have the pressure to get it all right away. Hartenstein is a a more polished player at this point in his career, and so he spells Mitchell the right way. Sims can still have another year of development. Maybe next year, who knows? Maybe Sims takes a leap at some point in this season. And even though Hartenstein is here for 2 years, maybe you say, okay, next year we trade Hartenstein because Sims has elevated his game so much. We don't need him. He's less money. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look at it in certain ways. But the point is, I like this team, and I like that they're going to turn it around and be a better team next year. The frustrating thing is, so the East is so much better that even when you got a better product, it still might not yield the results that you're expecting. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind, and don't look at the Knicks as being bums or anything if they're not really getting high in the East standings the way you think they by the the level of their play. It's going to be very tough. It's going to be very tough. Yeah. So shout out to Infamous New King. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining. There was something. Hold on. D Coolest in the building, 718. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. Okay. Someone said something that I wanted to point to. Oh man, I think I lost it, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Keith Turner. He said, I would actually send Fournier and Cam and the first round pick to Golden State for Wiggins only because I get rid of Fournier and I don't think Cam will re-sign here. And I am okay with that. I would do that too. Mind you, I don't necessarily know if the Wiggins we get with the Knicks will be the Wiggins we want or saw with Golden State. But if we're allowed to get Fournier out of here, right? And also trade Cam because we quite frankly won't be able to. I just don't think the Knicks are going to give Cam the money. Sorry, guys. I know people are not happy with that. I just don't think they're going to give Cam the money. I think they're trying to figure out how much money they're going to give RJ right now, and they want to see how it plays out. I don't think they can think about Cam. You got Brunson, you got Randle, you're talking about RJ, and you are also thinking about possibly bringing in another star down the line. You can't have that another star down the line and also pay Cam. That's too much. So you got to kind of figure out what's going to work. And I don't think Cam would have to come out. Like, I think I said it on somebody else's show. Cam would have to come out and be the most improved player in the league, be the sixth man of the year for them to say, yo, I think Cam is better than RJ. Something crazy would have to happen. It's one or the other. They're not paying both. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Let me just move it around real quick because I want to get everybody's take. Danny, what do you think? Do you think they're going to pay Cam and pay RJ?
I don't think so. I was watching a video yesterday of Cam, I don't know, he was playing somewhere, and I swear I thought that was Randle. He's got the same moves like Randle. It looks like a clone of Randle. They don't need both of those dudes. He doesn't look like he's any better than Randle, Cam. He's moving kind of slow too.
That's Cam's game. Cam kind of moves and slow.
Yeah, it's slow and methodical. It looks sleepy, but it's so effective. It's like Durant.
Looks like Randle.
Durant's not fast either. Durant will lull you to sleep, but he'll kill you. But yeah, I hear you. What do you think, Keyshawn?
I don't think there's a chance for signing both of them. Unless what you said, that Cam just shows that he's head and shoulders above RJ or just everyone else. But yeah, I doubt that.
What do you think, Sam?
I wouldn't be against that trade, but for the reasons you just pointed out too, is a reason why I actually don't see it getting made is because of the fact that you're gonna have to pay Andrew Wiggins. He just had a pretty good year. I don't see him taking a discount to come play for the Knicks at this point. So you'd have to know in trading for Wiggins that you're gonna have to pay the man. He's due for extension this upcoming year. So that's also gonna be why if you make a trade like that, somebody else is gonna have to go. If you're gonna keep Wiggins, because if you're trading for Wiggins, you're obviously planning on keeping him. So if you trade for Wiggins, that means somebody else is going.
You know, and another thing too, I think Wiggins would only take the discount with the Warriors.
Right.
And plus another thing too, what incentive does Golden State have to give rid of Wiggins? That was their best perimeter defender last year and guarded all the big dogs.
Yeah, he showed up for him.
And also punched in the mouth as well. Fournier Cam in a first-round pick is nowhere near enough for that.
Probably not. But you know, maybe no, yeah, probably not. It's true that might not. They might want something else. But I would do it if they took that. I'd do it. You know. But here's the other thing. And even though I just said that they won't pay Cam and RJ, if I was the Knicks and I traded those guys and I brought Wiggins here, I would pay Wiggins and RJ. But I would get rid of Julius.
I was about to say,
you can't do that. No, I'm not keeping Julius. I'm paying both. Yeah. So that's how I would look at it. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but if we got Wiggins here, we traded Cam and got rid of Fournier, would you be comfortable with paying Wiggins and RJ and then possibly moving Randle? Because I think you can go get another power forward out there in the draft or somewhere else on the cheap that can still give you something, not Randle wise, but it can give you something that's helps the team.
It's not the worst idea.
Yeah, I think if you do that, then you're just gonna bump up Obi, if I'm being honest. I think that's probably the route that they're gonna take because they're not gonna really want. I don't think Leon's gonna want to spend that much at that rate. So I think unless somebody falls available, I think you'll see them just bump up Obi if they have to move Randle also, and then just have Wiggins as that wing defender that fans have been praying for, as far as, you know, a two-way sense. He can get it on both sides of the court. We saw what he did as far as defensively on guys like Tatum in the finals, and then you know that he also got his own buckets on offense, made some key rebounds for them on offense and defense. So he's a two-way player.
Absolutely.
So all right. So would you do that same deal for OG Anunoby? Or being probably less because he's taking less money than Fournier, I think. So probably something different.
OG?
Yeah.
I'm just not really on.
OG's not that guy for me, bro.
Yeah, he's not. I'm not that high on him, if I'm being honest.
Doesn't move the needle.
Yeah, I honestly feel more confident in Wiggins than OG.
Wiggins, yes.
And think about this too. What are we missing? We're missing a truly dynamic wing player, right? Like around 6'8", 6'7", 6'9" type of thing. We got a fantastic draft coming up in 2023 with 3 first-round draft picks.
All right.
Yeah. I am biting on nothing that's going to put me in cap inflexibility.
True.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
We have 3 picks in 23.
Yes, sir.
Oh, let's keep them then.
Oh, they're right.
Yeah, I mean, some of them might not. Some of them might not convey in 2023, depending on what happens, because you know they got some protections on them. But there's a chance. I mean, the Knicks still definitely have their own, and they've got
the Dallas one converts next year. The one that's in question, I believe, would be the Washington one.
Right.
I think is the one.
I think there's a Detroit one.
Is there?
Yeah, I think there's a Detroit.
I have to look.
And then we've got a 2nd-round pick. So yeah, right. I mean,
that's healthy, bro. And even if you target somebody that's like around that 1 to 5, and you're stuck at 10 or 11, you have pieces to trade up, bro. I mean, to get up there higher into the draft. So,
right,
it's nothing like good draft capital flexibility, bro. The possibilities are endless with that.
Shout out to Walter White, appreciate you. Shout out to Ghetto Intellect, what's good, brother? Appreciate you, man. Thank you to Paris Duggar for the generous super chat. He said the youth group lawyer is still watching. Okay. All right. I'm still here. Yeah, man. I think it's all very, very, very interesting. I can't wait to see how it plays out. It's like, this is funky because I want these young guys to improve and get better. I want them to have the opportunity to play. So I want to see them ball out. But then the other side of me is like, the 2023 draft is something we've been talking about for years now, and it's here. And it's not as good as, it's still good. It's not what we thought because the high school players are not coming out in it because that would have been another level to it. But it's still a very deep draft. So I'm like, what, I don't know. Like, I want to see what we can get out of that because this could be the last hurrah.
But
for
in
a
a
while.
way,
This could be the last draft that the Knicks really need to be, mindful of for a minute. So it's like, it's the
in a way,
but I don't know.
In a way, Ron, you kind of do have some of those high school guys coming out because remember they're choosing instead of going to college to take that G League route.
Correct, but there's only that's true. There's some of them that are gonna fit the mold, but there's only so many. The NBA, there's only so many who can go to the G League Ignite team.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out because you got guys like Scoot. I mean, he's taking that route. So
right. Yeah, Scoot is Scoot, man.
Hey, I'm gonna make a video on Scoot soon. He's the guy I would take personally.
Yeah,
I don't care how
Scoot is the dude, man. I like everything about his game.
What's his position? I haven't seen him.
Point guard.
And he's only 17.
Oh my God.
Now playing like a men against men.
That's the type of guy, like, say something crazy happened with the Knicks and the Knicks, I don't know, had a horrible season. And their pick, they got the number 2 pick in the draft. You would think Wembanyama is going to be number 1. Everybody's playing him up. But if the Knicks were number 2 and Scoot is there, you taking Scoot. I don't care if you got Jalen Brunson at your point guard and you paid him $100 million. You taking Scoot.
Yep. Teams are getting ready to tank now for him. Well, him and Victor. So.
Plus, if things don't work out this season, you have the draft flexibility to possibly move up to something like that.
Right. True. That's a very good point too. We'll see. Parrish Duggar said, "Hey, is RJ going to accept Randle money?" Now that's an interesting question. Because I tell you, man, RJ still doesn't get a lot of love around. And I'm looking, there was some stuff. I saw people putting stuff up on Twitter yesterday about, other content creators. I don't know them, but like content creators talking about RJ and really downplaying him, calling him a bum and all this type of thing. That's a good question. Would RJ say, listen, I'm here for the team. I'm a Knick. I want to win here. I don't need 180 million or whatever my max is supposed to be. I'll take 120 or 130. I mean, I think Randall took 116, right? Was it 116, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. It was around there. I don't know if RJ would do that. It'd be nice, but I don't know. I really don't know. That would be a nice, good sign of faith if RJ took less than the max and was okay with it. But you never want to kind of get into somebody's pockets and tell them, listen, if you earned it, if that's your right to get this money, like if that's what they're considering, how can you say don't take it? I don't know. It's tough. But I would love to see it because I think the Knicks could be so much better if they had some cap flexibility, and they're able to fill out the roster nicely by having the pieces, having the money to acquire some more pieces. We'll see. Well, guys, I've got an appointment with the optician, whatever, soon. So I want to kind of get around and get you guys' last words and see, what you feel about anything going on, whatever you want to say, so I can get out of here.
I was about to say the same thing, Ron. I got a dip too.
Look at that. So Sam, any final words, brother?
Yeah, for me, I guess I'm gonna just preach the same gospel. Just be patient with these guys, with Leon and them. We're gonna see how the team shakes out. If a trade doesn't happen, oh well. If it does, hopefully, I think we're gonna see a little bit more patience from Leon, like what he's doing now. So if a trade does happen, just wait to see it out. We've seen some of these trades through. We complained last year. We all did at some point about them needing to remove Tibbs toys. He did that, so at least that's one check off the box. We're seeing the young guys hopefully going to be able to get some burn this year. So let's try to be a little bit more optimistic. We finally have a point guard that everybody's been calling for in Brunson. So just hope for the best. But I'm going to slide out, guys. I got a law event with some of my classmates. So I'll be here on the next one. D, if you got a show tomorrow, just let me know. I'll try to slide through.
Take care, buddy. Have a great day.
All right,
Sam. Appreciate you, brother.
Take care, Sam.
Okay, so Danny, any final words, brother?
Yeah, I think maybe Leon Rose is him and D are thinking maybe he's finally thinking like D, like he said before about all those picks coming up. That's why he's probably trying to fleece get just a little bit to make the trade. Otherwise, he's not going to bite. I would go the route with D is saying stay with that. And I'm also forgetting about Derrick Rose. Like, I think he's had a chip on the shoulder now that he's been out. I think he's going to come back and he's going to kill it this year. I have a good feeling about D Rose.
Okay.
But I like the route that D was talking about. So if this Mitchell trade doesn't happen, so be it. We're gonna find another diamond in the rough somewhere in that draft.
Look, and according to Leon Rose, right, he stated that the goal was supposedly to stay competitive somewhat, right, like, you know, mid-tier type of thing, right, and to collect draft capital. And that's what I mean. Sometimes that hasn't friggin' looked that way at all, but as the result is today, that's the way it's looking right now.
Yeah. What do you think, Keyshawn? Any final words?
Yeah, I just think the front office needs to stay the course and just not get distracted with anything else going on. Just focus on what they're trying to do and get to their goal, and we'll judge it when they get to there. That's it, really.
Yeah, and especially that we've been an organization that hasn't prioritized development and the young guys and going through their contracts and stuff like that. It's a very pivotal time to see fourth-year RJ, third-year Obi, third-year Quickley, second-year Grimes. This is very important to evaluate because two of those guys could be, you know, parts in the future that are going to be on a contending team.
Right.
So I have to properly evaluate that and make sure, am I going to pay? Oh, what a cute dog. You know, that I'm going to pay this and, you know, am I going to invest in this? If I do flip it, what type of assets am I looking for? Stuff of that nature. So you got to evaluate that and you got to give that time.
Yeah, agreed. D, any final words, brother?
No, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. Running a great show as usual. Great topics today for us to dive into. We're stuck in the middle of August and we still got stuff to talk about. Let's go, baby.
Hey,
let's get it. Go
NBA's 24/7, 365. I don't care what anybody says. You can talk about anything at any time when it comes to basketball. But appreciate the chat too and them going back and forth with us to create a dialogue. Very peaceful energy in here today, like always, most of the time. So I'm good, man. Thank you for everything, bro.
All right. And also a couple housekeeping things real quick before I get out of here. Thank you guys as always for tuning in. Hit that like button on your way out. I appreciate you guys. You got to get those likes up. Keep that 100 because YouTube be tripping sometimes, man. Got to stay in the algorithm, man. There's so much great content, so many great shows out there. We got to, you know, keep the pedal to the metal, man. Show that we're here. So thank you guys. Smash that like button. Also, I mentioned it earlier. I'll mention it again. D's World of Hoops. He just put out another video today about RJ Barrett. You know, check it out. It's real quick, but it's funny. And it's also, you know, listen, it highlights something that RJ needs to work on. And RJ knows. You can see it. You watch the video. RJ gets it. So definitely check it out. It's a good video.
I appreciate that. And also check out the Evan Fournier one, the no defense Evan Fournier too as well.
Oh yeah.
I tried to sprinkle in some comedy.
Yeah.
I tried to sprinkle in some comedy with some, you know, stuff that's actual. And you know, just to do that. As far as with lives, guys, I don't know what I'm doing with that. I'm really digging this uploading stuff right now. It's the middle of the summer. I know there's not much to talk about, so it's kind of hard. So that's why I give a lot of shout out to Ron to consistently come out with different topics to keep the people engaged. But I definitely will do that more when the season's going to come. I think, I don't know. I'll see what's up. But this upload thing, I'm having a blast with it. So you guys will definitely see more of that.
Yeah. It's enjoyable. These uploads are pretty fun.
D, when are you coming on tomorrow, D?
I don't know. I'm going to think about it, Danny. We'll see what's up. Because what's there to talk about? Unless you have 500,000 beautiful topics that we can go over. I don't know.
I got you, brother.
So also, guys, you see how I'm mentioning it at the end of the show. People have already left because we're about to, and I don't care. But I'm throwing it out there. Listen, we have our Patreon page. If you want, by all means, it's there. We have our membership account now. So now you guys can click on and join if that's something you want to do. Please ignore the third option. Unfortunately, when you apply for a membership account, YouTube has to approve it, and they approve it whatever you set it as initially, and it doesn't change unless
Hey, Ron, what's that Patreon page? What's that? I don't understand that.
Patreon page is just a page where you guys can donate money to your YouTube content creator that you like. But it is something that is like a monthly thing. So you don't have to do that. I'm just saying that's what it is. Usually for a Patreon page, it allows you to donate money to support your YouTube creator, and they'll give you exclusive content or something different than you would normally see on the regular YouTube channel. We have the Patreon available. We're still working on in season 3, which is coming up soon because the next season is about to start. We're going to work on what our Patreon type stuff will be, but I don't want to focus on it at this current moment. What I just want to focus on is just doing the regular membership stuff. So you guys are welcome to join that now. Like I said, there's a 3-tier option, but I want you to avoid the 3rd tier. The 3rd tier is $9.99. I don't care about your $9.99. Doesn't matter to me. If you want to contribute $1.99 a month, that's the first tier. Second tier is $4.99 a month. Fine. That's up to you guys. I really don't care. If you want to do something like that, that's up to you. But I don't want you to look at that 3rd tier at all. Just ignore it. It's $9.99. I wish if I could delete it, I would. I can't delete it. It's there. So just don't worry about that. So I just wanted to put that out there because, listen, it's a channel, and eventually we're trying to grow, and this is what we got to do to keep it going.
And you got beautiful perks too coming with the membership as well, right?
Yeah, the perks are not too bad. You got some nice little perks that you can add to the chat. Some faces of the players. RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle. There's even a Carmelo avatar in there. And then as more members, get added to the mix, then I can add more avatars and other things to it. You also get some exclusive content that's coming later. Once we get into the season, we'll be able to do a nice little membership package where we might have watch-alongs or different things that we come up with. We're going to be doing some other things that I can't talk about yet. But in season 3, just expect Still Knicks fans to be around. We're going to be doing a lot more. Might annoy you a little bit. We're going to be everywhere. So
keep it going. Keep it rising to the top.
Yeah, definitely. We got some ideas. Some of the ideas are a little ambitious. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but we're willing to try it. I don't know if I'm going to do that bodega Wi-Fi. I got to talk to Danny and see how's it working for Danny. I heard he's doing feet. So Jesus. Nah, just playing around. Dwayne Dennis in the building. Salute to you. Thank you for tuning in. So, guys, once again, continue to support the content. Thank you guys for being here. Every Saturday, 11 a.m. Every Monday, 9 p.m. Still Knicks Fans Weekly. And also Thursday nights at 8 p.m. the NBA Report. If you guys haven't checked out this past Thursday night's NBA Report, I don't know what you're waiting for. This was a great one. We had Coach Nick on from the B-Ball Breakdown channel. And if you guys like basketball, if you like X's and O's, if you like hearing from another coach who has a nice pedigree, he knows a lot of players in the NBA. He knows a lot of fellow coaches in the NBA. He just really, he gives you a different perspective, and he's real about it. Listen, so you may not agree with everything he says because he could be talking about your favorite player. But if your favorite player is not doing what he needs to do or needs to work on something, Coach Nick is going to point it out. So I thought it was a fantastic conversation. We had him for 2 hours, man. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. I think that was all I had. I feel like there was one more thing. Oh, yes. Monday night's guest for the Still Knicks Fans Weekly. I'm going to say it. Anything can happen, with scheduling, but this Monday night at 9 p.m. will be Alan Hahn.
Nice.
Definitely tune in and check that out. That should be really fun. I'm excited for that one as well. So yeah, man, it's a good time right now. Even though it's not a lot to talk about, there's always something to talk about. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. all of y'all. Shout out to Danny Landis. Shout out to Keyshawn. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to D's World of Hoops. Shout out to my man Stafford Don for being with us on the panel today. Thank you guys. Ron Sarmiento, what's good? Salute. You just joining in, man. Watch the replay, brother. This was another good show. Hopefully we entertain you. And thank you guys, man, for rocking with us and being here. Dwayne Dennis, I know I mentioned you, but I'll mention you again on the way out. Thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all. So we'll catch you on the next one. This has been another good one. And we just want to keep giving you more and more content that hopefully you enjoy. I know, there's not that much going on, but don't worry. As you saw, the Knicks preseason schedule just came out. Basketball starting very soon. First week of October. We back, baby. Let's go. Let's go. We back.
Back.
Catch you on the next one, man.
Thanks,
All right,
Ron.
guys.
Take care.
See you, D. Thank you.
Later.
Peace.
See you guys.